Then they would come from Malaba to Mukono, spend the night. Then early morning we would set off from Mukono to Hoima.
We have employed Ugandans, so that's a good way of appreciating and saying, yes, it is possible that we Ugandans, we can be involved in this oil and gas, and we perform excellently.
A rig is a group of equipment that we assemble, we test, and then we commission or operationalize to help us dig the wells, have them under control, have them completed, and get them ready for the production phase.
We have built capacity to handle equipment from the ship up to the last mile in a Kingfisher.
The convoys have been in the range of 15 to 20 trucks and driving all the way from Mombasa to Malaba in about 3 days. Then they would come from Malaba to Mukono, spend the night. Then early morning we would set off from Mukono to Hoima.
We have employed Ugandans, so that's a good way of appreciating and saying, yes, it is possible that we Ugandans, we can be involved in this oil and gas, and we perform excellently.
Field's development has evolved, reaching some significant milestones after Sinok Uganda Limited and its joint venture partners signed the final investment decision. Land for the construction of different facilities was acquired and compensation was fully made. Cash and in-kind compensation, like resettlement houses for all families, were built and handed over to the project-affected persons. Construction commenced for different aspects of the project, leading to the development of facilities such as the camps, well pads, the central processing facility, and feeder lines, followed by the delivery of the rigs and installation. Spudding was done in January 2023. There have been promising drilling outcomes, with 7 wells drilled in pads 2 and 3. Drilling operations, coring and on-site works are continuing, achieving total footage of approximately 23,000 meters. Other noticeable activities include a base station and permanent camp, solar turbine transportation, EPC 3-tank erection work, and EPC 4 pipeline trenching. Sinok will actively promote the LPG integration plan, which will gradually achieve the strategic transformation towards a green and low-carbon energy supplier. A camp integrated hydropower project has been set up, which will result in carbon dioxide emission reduction by 3,156 tons. Sinok has continued to contribute to the Belt and Road, people-to-people exchanges, enhancing China-Africa friendship and promoting the building of a community with a shared future for mankind. Sinok collaborates with various Ugandan universities to enhance graduate employment curriculum design and research. We have signed agreements with several institutions to support scientific research and develop talents in the oil and gas sector. Sinok, in collaboration with 5 other Chinese companies on the Kingfisher project, spearheaded a drive that led to the donation of $500,000 to upgrade the infrastructure of the Entebbe Welfare School. This is the largest donation to education in Uganda.
On behalf of the Ministry of Education and Sport, I would like to extend my gratitude to Sinok Uganda Limited and the contractors of Kingfisher Oil Fields for your commitment to the cause of vulnerable and challenged children.
Sinok sponsors international scholarships, sending Ugandan students to study in China. Under this program, a total of 11 students have been sponsored and...
Ladies and gentlemen, you are once again welcome to the Sinok Online Enterprise Development Program. This is day 3, and I am your host, Michael Waida. And for those that have been following us since Monday, I really thank you for being here all the time. I also thank you for being good students, because this was specifically organized for you to learn, and know how to be in business so that you can really achieve from whatever you are doing. We would like to thank Sinok Uganda for sponsoring this, and also thank Vector Energies for being a very good implementer. For the last 2 days, we've been having lectures in filing returns, taxation, financial management, and here today we have a very interesting topic, and we have a guest. It is her first time here. We never had her last time. She was our guest, and she's very ready to take us through a very interesting topic, and that is marketing. You know, you cannot do anything without marketing. You need sales and marketing. If you don't have like a proper strategy to do sales and marketing, then your business will fail. So here today we have Miss Sarah Apio. She will tell us the rest, because you know these people go to school and study quite some number of things. They have their professional courses, DIP, MP, MID. So there are very many things that I can't explain right now, but I take this opportunity to welcome Miss Sarah Apio. Miss Sarah Apio, you are welcome to the CNOC Online Enterprise Development Program. And our viewers out there are ready and just waiting to hear from you. But before Miss Sarah starts, I would like to encourage you to share this link. Share it with everyone out there. We are live at Vectra Energy on Twitter, Vectra Energy on our YouTube channel, and Vectra Energy on Facebook. So I therefore call on Miss Sarah Apio to take us through what she has brought for us today. I welcome you.
Thank you so much. My name is Sarah Apio. Let me start by saying thank you so much to CNOC. Thank you for My name is Sarah Apio. I would love to say my grateful thanks to CNOC for impacting the communities, for initiating this impactful program, and also thank you to Vectra Energies for bringing this to life. We are grateful to the communities that are interested in this, and we call upon all of you to come and learn. Let's learn together. So today we'll be taking you through different topics and under sales and marketing. We will understand what exactly sales is, what exactly marketing is. We will also get what brings them together, how we can put them together to improve this particular, our different products and services that we sell or that we have for the market. So we are going to understand how to use our social media platforms, our gadgets, to make more money, to grow our revenues. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so I think those are very great insights into what we'll be learning about today, and maybe we can start immediately because our viewers out there are waiting for us. So we can start with our first topic. We will have like 2 topics in the first session, then we will come in with the last session. And for you out there who have questions, keep sending in your questions, keep sending in your comments. I will be able to read all of them. So, Ms. Sarah, you can start with the first topic.
Okay, so the first we are going to look at the definition of marketing and its purpose. And here we see marketing is the management process responsible for identifying, anticipating, and satisfying customer requirements profitably. What does this mean? This means marketing is everything you do. Marketing is everything you do to make people know about your product, about your service, and also for them to want it and to come back for more of your service or your product. It is how you make people feel. It is how you choose the price. It is how you tell people more about who you are and what exactly your product is. When we look at that, then we ask ourselves, then what's the purpose? People love to always ask, what's the purpose? Why do I have to do this whole marketing? And why do I have to consider it in our business? It is because you need to make people know you. You need to make people like you. You need them to trust you. And then because you want them to buy from you again and again. Because this helps you also as a business to tell your story, for you to explain for why should I buy from you, to show exactly what makes your business special. And then it also helps you to attract new customers and keep the old ones, and then make your business visible and remembered. Yeah, so basically that's the purpose in short term. Then we have the core principles of marketing. We have customer orientation. What does this mean? This means everything starts with the customer. Understand who they are, understand what their need is, and understand how best to reach and serve them. And then we also have integrated marketing. What does this mean? This means all business functions, all the parts of your business have to work together. They have to collaborate to deliver a consistent message and experience. Then the next principle that we have is value creation. What does value creation mean to you as someone with a business? What exactly does it mean for you when you talk about value creation? It means the business or the service that you offer has to actually give value to the audience, has to give value to the customers. It should be perceived by the customers as valuable. Then we have exchange process. This basically means it facilitates exchange of value between business and customers. And then it should also be sustainable. So we are looking at it in terms of driving long-term and business growth, not just short-term sales. And then we ask ourselves now, this is where also now sales comes in, because you notice many of us cannot actually tell the difference between marketing and sales. Many times we think marketing is sales. And many times you find people saying, I want to market this, but they actually are saying they want to sell something. So now that we've understood what marketing exactly is, sales is basically when you convince someone to buy what you are offering and they give you money for it. For example, if you sell shoes, it's when someone walks in, tries them on, and pays you. That is a sale. It's a key part of the marketing process, but it focuses more on action and conversion, turning interest, someone's interest or the potential client's interest into an actual purchase. What's the purpose of sales? Purpose of sales is basically to bring in money by convincing people to buy what you're selling. Just look at it this way. Imagine you have a tailoring business in Hoima. You have the best fabrics and skills. But if no one places an order, if no one places an order and your business won't earn, then you're not doing anything. Because then sales is what brings the orders in. Without it, you're sitting on a good talent. Without it, you're not doing anything much. So you need a sale to supplement the marketing. Next. Okay, then we have key elements of the sales process. And what are these key elements? We have prospecting, qualifying leads, making sales presentations, handling objections, closing sale. What do these actually mean? Prospecting means looking for new people who could buy from you. How do you do this? Walk around, ask around, use social media, or even referrals. We can use all these particular avenues for you to be able to prospect. Then what would be the next process after you've prospected your client? After you've looked out for the new people, you qualify them. Not every person you prospect is actually a buyer. So then you need to qualify them. How do you do this? You check if the person is likely to buy. You check if the person is likely to buy, if they can afford, and if they really need it. Can they make the decision? Then you go ahead and now make the sales presentation after you have confirmed that actually all your answers to the questions are yes, yes, yes. Then you come down and make your sales presentation. How do you do it? Now here you have to explain what you're selling. Show what is good and how it helps the customer. When the customer says, and for like now it comes to the handling of objections. Here when the customer says it's too expensive or I'm not sure, you calmly respond and give them reasons to help them trust you. And what are these reasons? Some of these reasons could be how you meet their pain points, how you solve their pain points, how you handle the different challenges that they are going through in the business. It's not a one shoe fit all, and that is why you actually need to understand who your client is. Then after that, you'll be able to close the sale. When the person finally says, I'll take it, and gives you the money, then a bonus step for us is a follow-up. Many times we ignore follow-ups and these after sales. But how can we do this? Maybe you send a message to the customer after, you can thank them, you can call them, you can remind them to come back. You can even decide to have a small book in your shop or on your phone, you save their contact, so the next time you need to follow up with them and ask them how the product is doing or how they feel about the service or the product. All that is that is actually the biggest bonus step we should all have in our businesses and services. Follow up on your clients and on the different sales you have made. There's nothing that actually makes the client happy and satisfied like that. So, to bring it for you in a nutshell, we want to now clearly show you what is the difference between the two. What makes them different now that we've gone through what exactly each of them is. Then we come down and say, okay, what are the key differences? When we look at sales, sales helps people to decide to buy from you. It focuses on converting that interest. So it helps for the people to decide to buy from you. Whereas when you look at marketing, marketing helps people to know about you. So it is after marketing has done its work for the people to know about you, then now the people come in to buy from you, which is the sales. Then the next difference is sales works immediately. When you hold your shoe, you go to David, say, hello, David, I have this shoe. You tell them what the shoe does. Probably this is a waterproof on rainy days. It would be very good for you. It would be a very good, you give that as a sell point for you. And then immediately David will say, oh, it's actually a rainy season. I need to get these boots for myself. That's a sell. It works immediately. Then with marketing, marketing works over time to attract customers. Because you're not just going to come and tell someone about the shoe. You're going to take time to let people understand there's this shoe on the market. These are the qualities. This is how it performs. This is what you promise to them when they buy the shoes. And it's basically marketing that particular product. Then the next thing is sales actually convinces customers to buy what you're selling. It's persuasion. It pushes product through persuasion. So it convinces customers to buy what you're selling. Whereas marketing pulls customers through that attraction. It attracts customers by creating interest. Because when you're pushing a certain promotion, when you're promoting a certain product, people begin to pick interest. And that is where marketing is. Then when we look at sales, sales is product-centric. What does this mean? Product-centric means it focuses on what the business is offering. Then when you look at marketing, marketing is customer-centric. It's not just about the product. For it, the customer needs, focuses on what the customer needs and wants. So if you sell, for example, herbal soap in Masindi, sales is when someone walks in and buys the soap. Whereas marketing is what got them interested in the first place. Maybe they saw your poster, maybe they heard about it on radio, also a video on TikTok showing the soap removing skin rashes. Different reasons made them interested. Yeah. So this is a simple task for us. So far now because that is usually the biggest elephant in the room, understanding the difference between sales and marketing and how the two can get together to to help us in our businesses. Now, because of that, we have a simple task that I would love all of us to take, to get interested in, to, you know, be able at least sit back and say, with the little we have learned in these 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, describe your business briefly. Describe your business briefly. What do I mean by describing the business briefly? What do you sell? Who are your customers? That is what you need to write down in terms of describing your business briefly. Then we have the next thing you should do. List 2 simple marketing activities you can do to attract more customers. This should help people to know about your business. And then write your sales pitch, something like 30 seconds. You know, like when we have these phones, record like 30 seconds on TikTok, just telling people, what would you say to convince a customer to buy? Is it the herbal soap that takes off skin rashes? What exactly are you going to tell people that is going to convince them? That makes your product unique. Then list 2 common customer objections and how you'll handle them. Think about what people often complain or ask before they buy. You'll find people complaining it's expensive, it's that, it's this. How will you manage those objections? But even now, if you cannot manage them, just list them down, because then that's a step towards the right direction. Then lastly, on our task for this early bit of the morning is, what will you do in the next 7 days to improve your sales and marketing? Make a small commitment to yourself, because we are here to make sure you improve. How do we do this? What commitment do you have? If you can't do it now, what can you do in the next 7 days? Commit yourself. Tell yourself, if you're selling honey a liter, but maybe 5 liters in a week, give yourself that commitment to sell at least, let's say 10 liters, for the next week. Improve to 20 liters the next. Then within the quarter, what will it be? That's the commitment, because it all starts with that commitment. That's your task for this morning. So we would love to go on to our next, which is our sales strategies. What strategies do we need as businesses and services? So we have key areas for us to look at. 1, the first sales strategy is customer orientation strategy. What does this mean? This means you have to create the right image for your business. Who do you want people to talk? Who do you want people to talk to? And how do you want people to talk about you? Do you want them to consider you as the friendly person, clean, always on time? Make sure everything you do supports that image. Because the focus is entirely on the business, around solving customer problems, the different issues they have and they come across. That is what customer orientation is. Because then you'll be able to satisfy their needs and better understand them, better than your competition. What is the next best strategy? The next one is market segmentation and targeting strategy. What does that mean? Here you're dividing the market into groups. Not all your markets can be handled the same. Not all of them can be managed the same. We have different categories. We have, for example, the students that are around these different schools around your environment. We have the border riders that have their stages around there. We have the farmers. How are you going to focus on each of the groups? You can start, but if you can actually get to learn some of them, for example, these customers that keep coming, treat them like friends, greet them by name, listen to them. When you notice there is a stage around you and there is this rider that has always been there, check on them, find out if they are not there today. I encountered an interesting scenario this morning when someone asked about one of the colleagues that is always very early to office. And then the person was actually disturbed. And they were not disturbed because the person is late. They were disturbed because they were worried what could have happened to them, considering they knew them for early rising. So we shouldn't be looking at it only in terms of you want to figure out or to complain why a person is not there or not. So just acknowledge to the border stage and ask, where is your colleague? Where is David? He hasn't worked today. Is he okay? Even the fellow riders will look at you like someone who really pays attention, someone who cares about them. Just checking in on them like that is a very good one. The next time David comes back, they'll say, hey, Madam Sarah was looking for you. She was worried about you because you didn't work yesterday. When David wants to buy something, the first thing that will get to his mind is Sarah. Why? Because Sarah cares for her people. Sarah has attention. She treats customers like friends, with attention. And then in that way, your customers will always come back. What's the next strategy? That's the third one for us that we are taking today. Sell where customers are. Sell where customers are. Honestly, you cannot open up, sorry, my Muslim friends, with all due respect, you cannot open up a pork joint in Kawempe. Who are you selling to? Who is your immediate customer there? You've opened up a very good business, but it's in the wrong place. Because even when you still think there may be a few people that might support you that are non-Muslim, you still won't get to your goal. So you need to sell to where your customers are. And also you need to utilize the different platforms. For example, are they on Facebook? Can you get them on Facebook? You cannot be selling to students and you go on Facebook. Which students still have Facebook today? I think it's actually very strange for us to even wake up and find there's a student on Facebook, because the generation today is very unique. I think Facebook ends with our generation, the millennials. So you'll find that if you have students around, you're going to have to probably use your WhatsApp very frequently, because then it will help you with reaching the exact audience that you have. Then with the border riders or the different other farmers around you, they'll always be on Facebook. You can sell to them. So first know what your product is, and then you'll understand where to go to and how to sell them. Then the next is positioning strategy. What does this mean? Positioning strategy, you decide how you want people to see your business. Is it cheap? Is it fast? Is it high quality? Is it eco-friendly? Like, how exactly are you positioning that strategy? Like, how are you positioning your service? Then we want to look at relationship marketing. Or someone would ask me what positioning strategy exactly means. It's asking before you sell. Don't guess what people want, ask them. Do you want something long-lasting or cheap? It's that simple. Then you're able to know what exactly the client wants. Then you'll position. Then 2, show how your product helps. After you have positioned, show how your product helps. Instead of saying this is a good solar lamp, for example, you're dealing with lamps, show me how that lamp is going to improve my life, or show me how that lamp is going to solve a certain pain point in my community. Maybe there is no electricity. How am I going to continue lighting and having all my lighting gadgets on? So then you need to show someone by saying, maybe this lamp will save you. You don't even need fuel. You don't need fuel for it. It will save you. And then your children go to school. It will help them read, so they will not lag behind in class because the solar lamp works even without fuel. That is how you sell it. You don't just come up and say, I have a good solar lamp. You see? Yeah. So then the next is relationship marketing strategy. What exactly does this mean? This is building trust and long-term relationships with your customers. Never look at relationships with your customers as a mere transaction. It's not that you've just bought and run away. No. Keep time with them. Pay attention and focus with them. What does that mean? That means if they buy cooking oil, and you probably have your shop. Nowadays we have all shops, maybe with cooking oil on outside it. You have a stand that has tomatoes, onions, green pepper. So in our different communities, when someone buys cooking oil, don't wait for them to ask for something else. Let's maybe assume that the person already also wants to buy, maybe is going to cook food. So offer them onions, offer tomatoes. You know, it could even come at a subsidized rate so that it comes out for them, that you're giving them at a lower cost and something around. They'll actually be very happy, because then that's a relationship you're already building. Then we also have the sales channel strategy. Choose the best way to reach your customers. Is it through direct selling? Is it via agents? Is it through the market stalls? Is it through the market stalls? So in that way, you're able to understand how you'll be able to actually make it with your customers. Number one, use your phone. Use your phone. My viewers, please, and listeners, use your phone. Let us use our phones as our first selling tool. Because, these phones alone take us a very long way. Take good photos with the smartphones that we have. Let's take very good photos. Let's write nice messages and share on WhatsApp, on Facebook, on different platforms for many of our buyers online. Then don't forget them after they buy. Don't forget them at all after they buy, because when you forget them, then you'll have killed everything. You'll have killed everything, because that is an after sales buying. Yeah, after sales, like follow up and customer care. Then what are the techniques you use? The other ones were strategies. What are now the techniques? Techniques, what makes them different? Techniques are now the actions, what you take to apply the strategy. We have consultative selling, and spin. That is the spin selling, what we consider spin selling. Because then you ask the questions, you ask yourself the tough questions to understand who exactly the customer is. We make them understand who exactly, who you want to sell to. Then you can even ask them questions, like when you come to that whole spin technique, you ask them questions like, if let me say you have a product that you think maybe you're going to David and you want to ask them if there's a system they are using in his shop, or to capture probably revenues and everything. You ask, so David, how does that system work? You want to understand how the system works. Then you ask, are there any challenges you get with this system? You follow up with them. How does it affect probably your day-to-day life? So as you're asking all those questions, you're gathering different insights on how you should make sure they get along. Then we have solution selling as the next selling technique. Present your product in terms of how it solves a problem, not just features. Because then you have to show the client that your product gives them the solution that they need. You need to, if someone, maybe let me say if someone is a farmer, and they need to go to the market, they need to go to the farm, and then you notice it's raining heavily, and probably they've been moving with there's this particular shoe they've been wearing. Now come approach them with a gumboot, something that is waterproof. Show them how safe it is for them to use, and how they can actually work different, and how it can help them in terms of improving their different livelihoods. Then we have cross-selling and upselling. What does cross-selling and upselling mean? Cross-selling and upselling means you're going to encourage customers to buy related or better value products. What does that mean? That means if a client is buying oil, like we said, customer comes, write down their contacts in your phone. Once they have once you have the contacts in your phone, encourage them to save your number as well. Once you encourage them to save your number, they are going to be able to view your statuses. They're going to be able to follow and see what you're doing. So use that use it at every given opportunity, because then you know very well that your customers are viewing and they are seeing what it is that you're posting. And make sure, and you can actually have to make it an everyday thing. Make it, if every day you wake up, you're going to show people what do you have new, what do you have that you've restocked, what do you have that you've brought that is completely new, either in your shop or in your kiosk that you're probably selling. Take photos of those beautiful onions and tomatoes at the stall. Post them. Show your different contacts that you have on the phone. This is how you help your businesses grow. TikTok, we are always on TikTok doing different things. You find many of us at the stalls just watching different videos, but we are not using it for our own businesses. Let's also post our businesses so that people can use. Then SME, the SMSs and phone calls that we need to use to also promote the business. If you don't have a smartphone, okay, and you still need to at least communicate to your clients, like I said at the beginning, write down their numbers. Once in a while, call them. Call and follow up. How was this product? How was this service? Call and tell them, I have this new product. Call and tell, if they've been complaining about tomatoes and the price. Remember, many times when you come to the market, you're told, the tomatoes have gone high, the prices have gone high. What do we do? This time when you think when you think it's now the season for the tomatoes, call your customer. You already wrote down their number and you wrote somewhere to show that they complain about pricing. Call and tell them, customer, my customer David, customer Sarah, today don't complain. I have stock for you. There is a lot of tomatoes and they're all very nice. Come and buy. That is using a USD phone. The USD codes, the normal button phones, feature phones. You don't even have to say because you don't have a smartphone so you won't do anything. No. This training is now for all of us, whether you have a smartphone or you have a feature phone, you can still you can still make your sales based on what you have, the gadget that you have. Lastly, which we've already also discussed, is that whole follow-up and after-sales service. Please, 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 let's not forget to contact our different sales clients on the different products and services that we've already sold to them. Let's not consider it as a transaction. It should be continuous. Then, what we are going to go next is marketing strategies. What are the different marketing strategies? Now that we've seen the sales strategies, we've seen the sales techniques, what are the different marketing strategies? Then we'll look at what the different marketing techniques are, and we'll continue for that day. For now, let's take a breather and reflect briefly on what we've gone through, and also hear from our moderator if the viewers need to rest a bit so we don't have it continuously as a lecture, and yeah, we'll take it on from there.
Thank you, Ms. Apio Sarah. And to our viewers out there, I think this is a very interesting topic that everyone has interest in. And I think you've been following. I have tried to check on our social media handles, and I see you people are joining and you are sharing the link. Continue sharing the link, because we want as many like people in businesses as possible, because these are lectures for you, and they are free lectures that have been sponsored by CNOC Uganda and implemented by Vectra Energies. So we want everyone to learn. When you're in business and you're not making sales, when you are in business and you're not marketing your business, I don't think that can be business. You are not doing business. You are not even earning anything out of your business. So the reason as why they chose this topic is because they wanted you to really achieve out of what you are trying to do, whether small or big. You really have to market your business so that it's out there. So, ladies and gentlemen, I see a few comments here and some questions. I'll just select a few because I see there are very many, and I've been also noting down a few concerns here. When it comes to our first engagement, Miss Sarah, some people have here their concern, and someone here was asking, can you elaborate on the difference between target audience and target market? I think I'll be asking like 3 questions and then you respond to them. Will you remember them?
Yes.
Yeah, someone wants to know, wants an elaboration on the difference between target audience and the target market. Then the other question was, how do you measure the effectiveness of the marketing campaign? Then does storytelling matter? Is it very important when it comes to marketing as a marketing strategy? So let's maybe first get these ones, and then we can go on to some other questions.
So we'll start with I think let me start backwards, going to the front. Does storytelling matter? Yes, storytelling does matter because we need to connect to our audiences. So storytelling is what gives that emotional angle, that emotional aspect for every product and the audience. It is how you relate the two. It is how you relate your product and the concerns of the different market or the audience that you're targeting. So today it's not just about advertising a product and maybe you say you have this. Let's give an example of how school fees. Right now it's a school fees season. We'll have banks pushing through their different school fees loans and products that they have in the market. It doesn't make sense for anyone to just come up and say, oh, we have school fees loans, come and pick school fees loans, this is the interest. No, we now need to connect to the audience. We need to have our stories. How do we connect this to the different people? Let's talk about how we are all probably struggling to get through that school fees on time. It's a very short holiday. How do we connect that in terms of even the adverts that we are putting out there or the different products that you're trying to push out there? Do we have, can we have like a 30-second short video that talks about someone who actually looks completely like has lost hope, has no hope of getting school fees, and yet school fees is starting tomorrow. School is starting tomorrow, and maybe students are not allowed to get in school before. Now, that is where the storytelling, that is the whole meaning of storytelling. You're trying to show the people that, okay, you're depressed, you're ABCD, but now KCB Bank has school fees loan for you. So then the audience feels they are connected. The audience feels like, oh, these people actually understand what we are going through. And they're even giving us a solution to it. So yes, in everything that we are doing, we have to make sure we connect with our different communities. That is where storytelling comes in, and that's why it's very important.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, like on the very first other issue, elaborating on the difference between target audience and the target market.
Yeah. So when you look at target audience and the target market, that is, in terms of audience, you're looking at the different, let me say, you're looking at, if you're looking at different demographics, maybe in terms of segmentation, It's basically looking at the same, it could be the same market, but a different audience. So I'm trying to bring it out in a layperson language. Let me just say, for example, if you brought groundnuts here for sale, I'm talking now for my fellow viewers to understand this, so I'm breaking it down for you. You have groundnuts for sale, and then you have a particular audience that you probably think loves groundnuts more. And who is that audience? Eh? Maybe could it be the men who love it more? Could it be the women? That's understanding. Or is it all? But where do you take it in terms of the market? Like, where is that market? Where is that market for that audience? So then you have groundnuts, your target audience is the men, and the nearest to your stall are boda riders. So the boda riders then will become your number one, your primary target audience, and then how you take it to them, like where you find them is now the market where they are. That is the stage where they are. That's the market for them, for that particular audience. So then it helps you go to the different border stages to get through to. I don't know if that clearly brings out from.
Yeah, it brings out the essence of the question. And now, like, how do you measure the effectiveness of a marketing campaign? Like someone out there who has business and they're like, I've done a lot of marketing. Like, how do you measure the effectiveness? And
okay, now for that one, the viewer has preempted what we are going to next.
okay.
And I'll just briefly say, one of the very first ones is your growth, the growth in whatever it is you're doing, the growth in revenue. If you are selling just 10 kilograms of groundnuts in a day, and yet you've been marketing the groundnuts, and now you're able to sell 30 kilograms, that's one of the key, measures for you to tell. You're able to tell that I have grown my sale from this to that. That's already something that shows you that your marketing technique has worked. Yeah, but that aside, I don't want us to preempt so much. We'll dig deep into all of that.
Then when it comes to the sales strategy and planning, how do you develop a sales strategy that aligns with business goals and objectives?
Sales strategies, how you align them to the business goals and objectives is one. When you come up with a sales strategy, remember one of the things we put at the back of my mind, or of your mind, is understanding what kind of business do I have and what's my goal. And how you sell shoes is not the same way you will sell textbooks, and is not exactly the same way you will sell, maybe say, a laptop, because those are all different products, and you need to align them based on your target audience. That is how you align your sales strategies. For example, if I came right now and said, I'm going to use my phone, let me go on X. I'm looking for maybe more customers to come and buy, let's say, my groundnuts. Why would you go on X to sell the groundnuts? So your sales strategy should be looking at those techniques. I should be able to push you towards the techniques of who is this person that buys the groundnuts? How do they spend their time? What do they do, and how can I reach them? If it's through the WhatsApps and WhatsApp statuses and all that, make sure on your WhatsApp status you're able to have that as one of your sales techniques. Yes, so basically for you to have a sales strategy that aligns with your goal is one, understanding who your primary target audience is. Yes, once you understand who your target audience is, then you're able to align the sales strategies, which then will inform the different sales techniques that you will need.
Okay. Then there is another question here. Particularly, this question is basically about sales performance and the metrics. Like, how do you set realistic sales targets and quotas for sales? I think this one might come in later. And what are some...
hint on it a bit.
Yeah, but I think you can respond to it together with this. What are some common sales performance issues and how can they be addressed?
So I start with the last one. What are some
common sales
performance issues? Some of the most common, actually, I'll dwell on one mainly. The most common sales issue is assumption. Many times we want to assume for our potential clients. We want to assume what they want. We don't take time to understand what their needs are. We don't take time to understand what their pain points are. So then when you go with your product, let me say right now, it's normal weather time. And then you come with an umbrella and you're selling an umbrella to me. Do I need that umbrella at the moment? Yes, there's a possibility that I might need it for future use, but is it something I want at that particular moment? So what will my answer be when you ask me to buy the umbrella? I'll definitely tell you, no, not now. So what does that mean? You're already frustrated. So every time clients will keep complaining, you'll notice that whatever it is you're selling to them is not what they need exactly at that moment. So it becomes a sales challenge. Always take time to understand who the client is before you sell to them. Then I think that's clear on the biggest sales issue.
Yeah, it is.
It's assumption. Then number two, when I go back to the other question of what did it say? It talked about how we can set realistic targets.
Yes.
Setting realistic targets, there are key things that I think we should always put in mind when we are setting targets. First and foremost, we have a history we come with when we are selling. If I have been selling 5 liters of honey, my shop is in Masindi somewhere, and I am selling 5 liters of honey per day. Then when I look at it in terms of per week, Monday to Saturday, I'm selling averagely about 25 to 30 liters per week. I cannot wake up tomorrow and just say, oh, no, actually, now I've been selling 30 liters. I think this has to increase and I need to bring 50 liters. Sorry, let me say like 100 liters per week. That is outstretched. What have you based on to do that? That's already something that is going to depress you because you're going to sell 35 or 40 and then you'll feel like you have failed. Why? Because 100 was a bit too overstretched for that short period of time. Maybe for the next week. You can have that as your goal for the next quarter or how many months ahead after you've also strategized on what you think you'll do to have that grown. So every time you do that, that's not realistic at all. So that is looking at your past books. How have you been doing before? I'm sure the past days you've been having all those things of looking at your books, and what you've sold, what you've not. This is where now it comes in. Go back to the books or to in whichever way. I'm saying books, but not necessarily because it's books. It's just going back to your stock. Go back to your stock. How has your stock been moving? And how can you improve bit per bit? You can have a percentage, like 5%. Can you improve by 5%? And what have you put in place to improve that? That is one of the things, looking back. Then two, look at the situation. Right now we have that stadium that is being built and all of us are, waiting.
The one of Hoima?
Yes, the one in Hoima. As soon as it is completed, there's going to be lots of opportunities. So what are those opportunities? What are these different opportunities that we might have? We'll have more employees there. We'll have more, like so many. So even when you're, let me say like a tailoring firm or maybe this same, I'm using a lot of the granite because now that's one of the smallest businesses we have that have grown so much that people actually benefit from the granates selling for our people. If you've been selling your granates to only the school kids and all that, now you'll be sure that there's an opportunity for you. You're going to sell to a massive market that is coming because of the completion of that stadium. So then there you're able to set your targets. You've put that into perspective as you're setting your target. So now those are two things so far that we are considering. You remember how your past books come? Then the opportunity for that particular, which comes opportunities with the forecasting. What do you anticipate and how would it be? Then also, have you opened up different maybe avenues? Maybe for you, you've been just having your granuts brought in the morning and in the evening because it was holiday time. Now it is school time, no one can buy any of your products. But what does that mean to you? That means now you can actually say, no, I'm going to stretch my target when kids are going to school because I know they'll actually need something to eat while they're at school. So what does that mean? I come in early during that time when children are going to school. Then also make sure I am there till late when they have left school and going back home. So different things we look into for us to be able to set our targets. I'm trying to be as basic and relatable as possible so that we are all on the same page, so that we do not confuse our viewers with very many technical terms. Yeah.
And then let's talk about building rapport and also building trust with potential customers. Something around that. How can you build rapport with potential customers?
Number one, if you remember what we talked about, positioning our businesses. How do you position your business? How we position our businesses is what people take us for in the first place. If, let me say, I have a service that I offer. Let me say it's this garbage collection. There's a lot of garbage, there's a lot of littering, and I collect every Monday and every Friday. I don't have to keep people's garbage. I position myself as a timekeeper. I promptly collect all this, the wastes, the different wastes. Now, the customers know that is what I have positioned myself to. How then do I even now build that rapport and make us even more engaged or work more together or believe in each other more? That is by one. When you have positioned yourself as a timekeeper or whatever it is in that angle, make sure you always keep time. If you have agreed to collect this waste every Wednesday, make sure every Wednesday you have come to collect this thing. If you have not been able to collect it, send your customers messages. This could even just be text messages. Sorry, Madam Sarah, we will not be able to collect this waste today. However, we are working on collecting it, maybe in the evening or tomorrow, or we will communicate as soon as we can, so we can take out that. Then there, even when your client wants to get angry, they will remember, every time I think of a pure waste management, every time I think of waste collection, I think of a pure waste management. Why? Because you've now built that relationship. And then every time you go to your customers to even pick these wastes, engage them, talk to them, be able to actually call someone by name. Hello, Michael, how are you this morning? Have you gathered all your wastes together? Can we do simple things? It goes to as simple as that, very basic. How do we greet people? How do we welcome people? When you find someone is standing next to the waste that you're supposed to collect, are we just going to tell them because we are angry or we are tired? Then you say, carry that bin, put it on top of the truck now. We are late. Is that how you're going to serve? No. You're going to definitely get off your truck, or even if you're still on your truck, say, hello, Madam Sarah, how are you? Is everything here? Can we go? Is this all you've put for us to take? Have a good day. I mean, simple things. Building rapport is not anything complicated. It comes out from the simplest of things. Okay. And it's those simple things that help us build this rapport with the clients.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Apio. I think this topic has been so interesting because there is quite a lot that I have personally learned, and I don't really know whether even the person that you've been telling us about, David, I don't know whether he has also learned. I think you chose a perfect example because I think in your mind you guessed maybe David needs some more lessons when it comes to marketing. So when you talked about target audience and the target market, I really remembered like for example, when you look at these WhatsApp groups that people are always joining, you find there is a WhatsApp group, and these members are saving like 20K every week or every month. And if someone comes up with like business and is like you're sharing it in this WhatsApp group that saves 20K a month, and you are selling choppers, then you share in this WhatsApp group, I think you're not sharing in that. That's not the target market. Because you want to sell choppers and we're sharing them in a WhatsApp group of people that are saving 20K a month. And that is David's WhatsApp group. So I don't think you'll be getting money. You will be having a very good market or even the audience. Like I also remember sometime back there was an event where we were supposed to pay to attend a dinner. And then someone was like, I'm giving you 10 tickets, sell them for me. I looked around all my friends and I was like, man, these tickets, I don't think I'm the target market, because all my friends, no one can buy these tickets at 2 million. Maybe you need to get me tickets or something like 20K, 50K. So sometimes when you look at the market, you have to know your market. You can't be selling Javas. You can't be having a branch of Javas in my village down there in Kaliro, because no one will buy your Javas. People will need things that are very cheap. So when it comes to the market, I think you people now understand that you need to choose the right market. What are you selling in that particular area? Are you selling things expensively, yet the people living in that area want things that are very cheap? You're in why you say deep in why you say, but you really want to sell these butter shoes of 150K, 150K, yet you know the people that you're living with. So I think when it comes to marketing, it is a very interesting topic that all of you must really give attention. All these engagements will remain here on our YouTube channel. You can also revisit the X handle. You will always see the live stream, and you can still go back and learn, because these are very interesting lessons. You can even download them. So we thank CNOC Uganda for organizing this engagement, and Vector Energies for really being out there and making sure that Ugandans are benefiting from this engagement. Remember, I told you earlier, this is an engagement for everyone, not for only Ugandans, but everyone who can really access it. And you should also remember that we will be having our last physical engagement in Hoima, and it will be happening next week. So those that will have chance to be part of the audience in Hoima will be having that engagement that side. So as we warm up for the second session, we will go for a short break, and then we'll come back for the next session.
The Kingfisher oil fields development has evolved, reaching some significant milestones after CNOC Uganda Limited and its joint venture partners signed the final investment decision. Land for the construction of different facilities was acquired and compensation was fully made. Cash and in-kind compensation, like resettlement houses for all families, were built and handed over to the project-affected persons. Construction commenced for different aspects of the project, leading to the development of facilities such as the camps, well pads, the central processing facility, and feeder lines, followed by the delivery of the rigs and installation. Spudding was done in January 2023. There have been promising drilling outcomes, with 7 wells drilled in pads 2 and 3. Drilling operations, coring and on-site works are continuing, achieving total footage of approximately 23,000 meters. Other noticeable activities include a base station and permanent camp, solar turbine transportation, EPC 3-tank erection work, and EPC 4 pipeline trenching. CNOC will actively promote the LPG integration plan, which will gradually achieve the strategic transformation towards a green and low-carbon energy supplier. A camp integrated hydropower project has been set up, which will result in carbon dioxide emission reduction by 3,156 tons. CNOC has continued to contribute to the Belt and Road, people-to-people exchanges, enhancing China-Africa friendship and promoting the building of a community with a shared future for mankind. CNOC collaborates with various Ugandan universities to enhance graduate employment curriculum design and research. We have signed agreements with several institutions to support scientific research and develop talents in the oil and gas sector. CNOC, in collaboration with 5 other Chinese companies on the Kingfisher project, spearheaded a drive that led to the donation of $500,000 to upgrade the infrastructure of the Entebbe Welfare School. This is the largest donation to education in Uganda.
On behalf of the Ministry of Education and Sport, I would like to extend my gratitude to CNOC Uganda Limited and the contractors of Kingfisher Oil Fields for your commitment to the cause of vulnerable and challenged children.
CNOC sponsors international scholarships, sending Ugandan students to study in China. Under this program, a total of 11 students have been sponsored and 8 have since graduated and are currently working in the oil and gas industry.
This scholarship to me is a dream come true. I'd always wanted to receive a first-class education from a good school, and CNOC has provided me with this opportunity, this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
CNOC focuses on training and certification programs for skills needed in the oil and gas industry, which promotes local employment and strengthens Uganda's logistics and industrial capacity. Over 150 contractors and more than 3,000 individuals have been trained in various oil and gas skills. The company collaborates with local vocational schools to provide welder training, significantly contributing to Uganda's professional welding sector.
They took the initiative to sponsor us who are underdogs, and they want to put us somewhere. We thank them a lot. There's nothing much we can give them, but maybe use the skills properly so that they can also feel they have done some impact in the Uganda we have now.
CNOC Youth Employment Support Program has trained over 350 local youths in various vocational skills, improving their employability and living conditions. These trainings cover welding, heavy truck driving, heavy machinery operation, engineering construction, and other skills needed in the oil and gas field development, as well as driving, tailoring, and hairdressing, among others. CNOC invests in projects to improve community living standards, such as providing clean drinking water to over 13,000 residents in Buhuka flats, carrying out medical camps and building resettlement houses with modern amenities for 56 households. We have also invested $620,000 in maintaining critical roads and enhancing public safety. Livelihood restoration programs include donating livestock and teaching scientific breeding methods. We also work closely with the Confucius Institute of Makerere University, supporting events like the Chinese Bridge Competition and the Sound in My Heart Chinese Song Competition. CNOC also organizes activities to celebrate Chinese culture, such as the Spring Festival. These efforts enrich cultural communication and foster mutual understanding between China and Uganda.
CNOC Uganda Limited is committed to education and capacity building to fulfill its vision of energy for Uganda.
A rig is a group of equipment that we assemble, we test, and then we commission or operationalize to help us dig the wells, have them under control, have them completed, and get them ready for the production phase.
We have built capacity to handle equipment from the ship up to the last mile in the Kingfisher.
The convoys have been in the range of 15 to 20 trucks and driving all the way from Mombasa to Malaba in about 3 days. Then they would come from Malaba to Mukono, spend a night. Then early morning we would set off from Mukono to Hoima.
We have employed Ugandans, so that's a good way of appreciating and saying yes, it is possible that we Ugandans, we can be involved in this oil and gas, and we perform excellently.
The Kingfisher oil fields development has evolved, reaching some significant milestones after Sinnock Uganda Limited and its joint venture partners signed the final investment decision. Land for the construction of different facilities was acquired and compensation was fully made. Cash and in-kind compensation, like resettlement houses for all families, were built and handed over to the project-affected persons. Construction commenced for different aspects of the project, leading to the development of facilities such as the camps, well pads, the central processing facility, and feeder lines, followed by the delivery of the rigs and installation. Spudding was done in January 2023. There have been promising drilling outcomes, with 7 wells drilled in pads 2 and 3. Drilling operations, coring and on-site works are continuing, achieving total footage of approximately 23,000 meters. Other noticeable activities include a base station and permanent camp, solar turbine transportation, EPC 3-tank erection work, and EPC 4 pipeline trenching. Sinnock will actively promote the LPG integration plan, which will gradually achieve the strategic transformation towards a green and low-carbon energy supplier. A camp integrated hydropower project has been set up, which will result in carbon dioxide emission reduction by 3,156 tons. Sinnock has continued to contribute to the Belt and Road, people-to-people exchanges, enhancing China-Africa friendship and promoting the building of a community with a shared future for mankind. Sinnock collaborates with various Ugandan universities to enhance graduate employment curriculum design and research. We have signed agreements with several institutions to support scientific research and develop talents in the oil and gas sector. Sinnock, in collaboration with 5 other Chinese companies on the Kingfisher project, spearheaded a drive that led to the donation of $500,000 to upgrade the infrastructure of the Entebbe Welfare School. This is the largest donation to education in Uganda.
On behalf of the Ministry of Education and Sport, I would like to extend my gratitude to Sinnock Uganda Limited and the contractors of Kingfisher oil fields for your commitment to the cause of vulnerable and challenged children.
Sinnock sponsors international scholarships, sending Ugandan students to study in China. Under this program, a total of 11 students have been sponsored and 8 have since graduated and are currently working in the oil and gas industry.
This scholarship to me is a dream come true. I'd always wanted to receive a first-class education from a good school, and Sinnock has provided me with this opportunity, this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Sinnock focuses on training and certification programs for skills needed in the oil and gas industry, which promotes local employment and strengthens Uganda's logistics and industrial capacity. Over 150 contractors and more than 3,000 individuals have been trained in various oil and gas skills. The company collaborates with local vocational schools to provide welder training, significantly contributing to Uganda's professional welding sector.
They took the initiative to sponsor us who are underdogs, and they want to put us somewhere. We thank them a lot. There's nothing much we can give them, but maybe use the skills properly so that they can also feel they have done some impact in the Uganda we have now.
Sinnock Youth Employment Support Program has trained over 350 local youths in various vocational skills, improving their employability and living conditions. These trainings cover welding, heavy truck driving, heavy machinery operation, engineering construction, and other skills needed in the oil and gas field development, as well as driving, tailoring, and hairdressing, among others. Sinnock invests in projects to improve community living standards, such as providing clean drinking water to over 13,000 residents in Buhuka flats, carrying out medical camps and building resettlement houses with modern amenities for 56 households. We have also invested $620,000 in maintaining critical roads and enhancing public safety. Livelihood restoration programs include donating livestock and teaching scientific breeding methods. We also work closely with the Confucius Institute of Makerere University, supporting events like the Chinese Bridge Competition and the Sound in My Heart Chinese Song Competition. Sinnock also organizes activities to celebrate Chinese culture, such as the Spring Festival. These efforts enrich cultural communication and foster mutual understanding between China and Uganda.
Sinnock Uganda Limited is committed to education and capacity building to fulfill its vision of energy for Uganda.
Welcome you back to our engagement. This is the Sinnock Online Enterprise Development Program, and as I told you earlier, we will be here every day starting 8 a.m. to midday. And we started on Monday. We will be having these engagements up to Friday. And we will be having our last physical engagement in Hoima next Friday. And it will also be live here. We thank Sinok Uganda for sponsoring this and Vectra Energy for being a very good implementer. For those that have been here with us, we started with market strategy. We started with a sales strategy, and we also learned about marketing. And for those that were very serious when it comes to taking notes, I think you have noted some notes here. And for me, in our first engagement, when they were talking about sales strategy, I picked a few lessons. I don't really know whether you also picked some few lessons and wrote them down, because it is very important when you attend such engagements to note down some notes. Like when they were talking about sales strategy, they talked about knowing your customers' needs, the pain points and behaviors, building trust and long-term relationships, adapting to the sales approach, to the different customer types. They talked about tracking performance and making data-driven improvements. Then when it came to marketing, they talked about understanding your audience. I think you really understood that very well. If you didn't understand it, you still send in your comment or your question. Understanding your audience. And then creating high quality, relevant content. She talked about the content when it came to poetry and maybe playing, creating content that really matters, that is very interesting for you people that are always on TikTok, Twitter. There is that content that will really bring in a customer. Using multiple channels to reach a broader audience. Yeah, and that is what was mainly in marketing. Those are some of the lessons that I picked. Those are lessons that I picked. I don't know what you really picked, but you can share with us in the comment section on X at Vectra Energies. You can also comment on our YouTube channel. I think that is what was in the very first session that we had, and now I welcome you back for the second session. Miss Sarah is very ready to take us through another session. And I think this time around, for you people who have just joined us, I'll let Sarah introduce herself one more time and tell us what she does for a living. Because at first she never told us what she does for a living. Maybe you can tell us what you do for a living, whether your main business is in Uganda they call it okusudia, like okusudia business, like making a business be out there. So just tell us about what you do in like 2 minutes, and then we start with our topic.
So I have to introduce myself again, like the moderators advised. I'm Sarah Pio, and I'm a professional marketer. That means I'm a marketer by professional. I'm a chitunzi by professional. Is that what the word is in Uganda? Yes. Yeah. I'm a chitunzi by professional. I am currently the brand and communications manager at KCB Bank. And that's what I do for my 9 to 5. But I also have my own SME personal business that I deal with. And we'll be discussing that later. But for now, I'm focusing more on consultancy. I help businesses grow. And that's why we would put down there my contacts. In case of any guidance that you may need, especially around sales and marketing, I will support you. I will walk the way with you. I will guide you as a professional chitunzi. I also am a member of the Marketer Society, that is Uganda Marketer Society, and a member of the Chartered Institute of Marketing, which basically upholds the professional itself, the profession in general, and the marketing industry at large. So anything else the audience would love to know, we can get to know each other along the way.
Yeah, I think now we can continue with our next topic.
Yeah, so our next discussion now is going to be, we've talked about, I'm taking my time on this because I really wanted us to be on the same page. We've come from understanding what exactly marketing is. We've understood exactly what sales is. And now we have to go back. We also understood what the different sales strategies are. We've gone through what sales techniques are. We've understood the difference between marketing and sales. So I hope now at least we are somewhere. My moderator here says he has picked so much, and I hope it will be a ripple effect. He'll go on to tell the others, and the others will also train the others, because that's the whole essence of the program. Yeah, so our next in line now is marketing strategies. Now, what are marketing strategies? These are long-term plans. Marketing strategies are long-term plans. And these long-term plans are meant to achieve business growth by meeting the customer needs better. Yeah, and what are some of these marketing strategies? They're customer-centric. Remember, like we discussed at the beginning, showing you what exactly marketing and sales, how they differ. And remember, we mentioned about how sales is product-centric. Now, marketing is customer-centric. It is customers first. Put the customer first. Think like a buyer. What do they want? Maybe fuel that lasts longer, especially for those of you that drive or have a boda boda or any of the anything that we think uses fuel. You'll find people maybe need fuel that lasts longer. Then there are those who just want fuel that is cheaper. Then there are those who want cheaper fuel, food, but at the same time still tasty. Because we also have that audience. You want something cheap, but you also still want it tasty. And then build your business around their need. Because it even takes you back to what one of the viewers asked of the sale mistakes, the mistakes we do during sales or selling. That is the only way we can manage the problem of assumption, because the response I gave was the disease of assumption. And how do we manage that disease? Is by thinking like a buyer. What do they actually want? What exactly fuels them? That is what they call being customer-centric. Then we go on to the next, which is segmentation, targeting and positioning. That is around the target audience and markets that we were talking about. What does this mean? This is identifying different customer groups, choosing who exactly to focus on and how exactly or where you would want to position your brand very well. Focus on the right people, not just because you have, maybe not just because you have 4 people here or 5 people and you think all of them have that same need because you think it's what they need. No. Even after that, let those be your prospects, but qualify them. That is where we come in with our qualifying of our leads. Qualify them. Ask yourself, do they want this? Don't try to sell to everyone. Choose who is most likely to buy and then speak the language. Let me give an example of, you're making herbal soap in somewhere in Hoima, and you want to target mothers, because when it comes to home care, it's usually the mothers that pay extreme attention. So target the mothers. So come to your mother, tell them how the herbal soap is good. Talk about hygiene. Talk about children's health. Talk about how it will support. When our children go to school or go into the different communities, there are different probably skin infections that they may get because of the relation to the different environments that they'll be in. Show the mother that this herbal soap actually helps clear these skin rashes. That is what it is in terms of focusing on the right people. Then the third is brand strategy. What do I mean by brand strategy? With brand strategy here, in simple terms, first of all, you have to build a very strong brand. Consistency is key. What's that? What's your ID? What's that CI? What's that? The corporate identity. What's that? What do you want your image to come out like? And these are very simple things we need to use. First and foremost, use one color. I mean a uniform color across all your different materials, branding materials. Use one name, use one slogan, stay consistent so people remember you. Every time you keep changing goalposts in terms of what your slogan is, what this is, you're going to confuse people. So for you to actually make your brand stand out, you need to stay consistent so that people can remember you. An example is like, let me say you have Businje, fresh milk. Your slogan could be from farm to mug. Yeah, because it shows like how healthy it is. So then you're telling people it's okay, this one can be consumed right from the farm to the mug. But then in your content, make sure you're always using, like maybe in everything you're using, it's you're using green and white packaging with the logo of a cow on your packaging. Make sure everything that you do has the exact breakdown in terms of exactly what it is, same color, same logo, same pictures appearing. That is what improves our brand strategy. Then our next strategy would be value proposition strategy. I repeat, value proposition strategy. This is key. What is the value of your product or service? Communicate what makes your product or service better and why people should buy from you and not the neighbor. Tell people why you're the best. Explain what makes your product special. Don't just say nice soap. Say it removes stains faster. It is safe for babies. You don't just say, oh, I'm a tailor. Now with the stadium app, I'm sure you'll have, we will have different uniforms that might be needed with different people that will be working on ground. Position yourself, position the value you're going to give. Show them how you'll be able to deliver in 24 hours, no waiting. That's a clear promise. And that's value, because we all know the struggles we go through with tailors. So once you bring it out in terms of reliability, that value that you're giving them, it's a very good strategy for you in marketing. Then we have the digital marketing strategy. This is like our baby right now, especially for us as SMEs. It is our baby. Digital marketing strategy. You people, this is our baby. My viewers, use every opportunity, every chance, everything you can do around digital to push your products and services. And when we talk of using digital products for our services, don't just wait until you have a 10 billion farm, then you'll think marketing is important. No. Start from the smallest, start from the simplest of selling 5 kilograms of granite. Start from that small. I mean, don't ignore any opportunity that you have to use digital to push your product out there. Take photos of your product and let these be good photos, something that is clear. Take photos, write a short message, a very nice one that can accompany the photos for people to understand what it is. Share them in your WhatsApp groups. You don't have to talk of how you don't have money to go and pay for digital ABCD. No. You actually have the market. And who is that market? Your contacts. I am sure all of us in our phones have at least more than 100 contacts in our phones. And by the 100 is a very small, very, very small number. Many of us have thousands and thousands of numbers in our phone books. How are we using those numbers? How are we utilizing them? Are we just waiting until that money comes before you actually pay a firm to do for you some digital, advertising that you have always thought or had in your mind? No. The beauty about digital is that the money, everything is in your palms. Everything is in your palms. Yeah, shoe seller. You're waiting until probably someone comes, takes for your photo, puts you somewhere in the newspaper or on the radio or on TV. Yes, all those things are okay. But is that a cost you want to incur at this moment as a starter or as a mini SME that is just starting up? The answer is in your palms. Use your phones. Use your phones, they will boost. Open up, take a photo of that shoe, post it on your status. At least the contacts you have in your phone are going to be your number one customers, your immediate potential customers that you have. We have very many WhatsApp groups in our phones for who is wedding, ekohinjira, burial, for community, for security, all those groups. And most of these groups for our professional networks, for our circles, and most of these groups, at least for the structured ones, they have particular days when you can post every business that you're doing. But ideally, for most of our happiness groups, you can always post every time. Utilize those groups. Post your what you're selling, your product, your service, and what you're promoting. Use your online tools. That is very key for us. I have dwelled a lot on it because I really don't want us to take it. Digital marketing is the way to go for everyone. It's the way to go for us, and let's embrace it. Let's embrace it. Let's keep at the back of our minds that the answer to improving our businesses and services is in our palms, and that is in the smartphone that you have. Then next in the marketing strategies, we have the content strategy. What does content strategy mean? Here, you're going to share. When you're sharing, first of all, you're selling shoes, but every time you're sharing, you want to share only people doing different activities, or probably people, I know, okay, you're sharing things that are completely unrelated to the business that you're doing. It's okay to balance. At times, just share things that are interesting and, that you align with. For example, if you're selling shoes, these are very strong shoes. Post a group of people dancing in a muddy place with the shoes that you're selling. Let it show that it's actually strong shoes. I mean, that's the kind of content maybe now you can relate. So in short, basically share helpful tips. Even the jokes that we share behind should be jokes that resonate, that people would actually relate with, something that is happening in the community. I was telling people that being a marketer is an interesting job, because it's in an interesting continuous learning, that we have. You say, oh, I drive a Range Rover, a BMW. Who will see me seated on a boda? Oh, but do you know where the mass is or where your audience is? So you want to take time off, sit in that taxi, understand what is happening. That is where you'll get information. When you go back and you're selling something, yesterday you sat in a taxi and you had someone maybe talking about, relate that as a joke, because that is actually happening and people will relate. So these jokes should not come off or should not come from a different market completely. Let your jokes come from your communities so that you relate. So if you share these helpful tips, you share these jokes that are relatable, or behind the scene videos. For example, if you shared, let me say a video, like I talked about a video when you want to sell shoes and these shoes are high quality and someone is dancing in the mud, but the shoes are still okay. Then you just share the behind the scenes. So sometimes we actually laugh and look at how people create rain. How they put umbrellas up and then pour a lot of water and then you're still dancing in the mud. It's interesting. And then there's a lot of the back and pull of, why are you doing this? Don't do that. While for us we are waiting for the finished product, there's actually a lot behind the scenes. If you make those shoes yourself, if they are crafts, we have crafts here, and we make them by ourselves. If you have these shoes that you're making with as a person on your own, share how the process, share from your start, how you get the raw material, where do you get it from? Just have those brief clips to share with people how actually you're doing it, how you get from the market of the raw material to the finished product, which is the shoe. That is what we should focus on. And that content is very key for all of us. Even, let me give an example again of a honey producer. Don't just share honey with people. Show people how you've been keeping these bees, how the hives look. You'll be surprised that some people do not even know how hives look. You'll be surprised that some people do not even know that honey comes from bees. And that goes back to, moderator, that goes back to one time we had a conversation with someone, and they gave us sorghum. And this is about a 30-year-old, and she was very surprised, and she was calling millet bread, calling it tinted posho.
Okay.
So you can imagine she has never seen sorghum. She doesn't even know how sorghum looks. So she was surprised that sorghum could produce this. So as part of the content that we are creating for our audiences, or for our view, or for our different customers, let's show them some of those things. It's the whole value chain, right from the market up to the final consumer. And even now I've come up with that follow-up. That is where you now see, hey, how long have they actually used it? Do they like it? Yeah, so that is, that's what I really wanted to focus on more in terms of teaching our audiences on what we have in terms of our content strategy as a whole, basically. And then the next now, after we've understood our marketing strategies, what's next? Remember, the marketing strategies are long-term. So what's next? This means we now need to develop techniques, because techniques are those specific actions and tools that we now use to apply our strategy. One of them, the very first that we talked about, storytelling. Storytelling marketing is key. Use real stories to show how your product helps someone. Use real stories. I gave an example of how you're going to have a short video clip telling how people are actually struggling with school fees. Your child is home crying, you're depressed, you do not know what to do, you're confused, you actually have no idea where to start from, because you thought you were going to reap from your previous maybe sell from what you had put in the farm, but unfortunately, because we are not farming smart, the things did not come out like you expected. Your yields were very low, so you can hardly raise the school fees. So if you clearly show, if you have content in 30 seconds that can show the whole process of how someone is actually very depressed looking for school fees, and then at the end of the day you actually show, like maybe at the end of the day, let me give an example of it's KCB Bank, and then it comes off, it shows you that, okay, we know this happens, this is happening, and this is the school fees period. But worry not. Don't worry. Why? Because KCB Bank is at your service. Or because there is this circle that is at your service. So those are some of the things. Relate to the audience, relate to the usual things that happen to them. Yeah, storytelling is very, very big, and that is why it's my #1 focus. And let it always be on true stories, by the way. Let it be true stories, because people trust is real. Yeah. Then you can also give an example of, let me say, like the cream. People work, right now there are so many people that deal in creams. I think almost everyone has a soap that clears something, that clears rashes, that clears this. We have maybe a detergent that washes this and it does what. How do we come off? How do we show people? How do we relate to them? By using true stories. Or you can have people coming on board to tell you testimonies of how the different products have worked. Maybe confirming that, oh, the creams have actually helped me support my my skin rash. And in how long? In just probably 2 days. So someone else is also posting maybe a certain irritation on their skin, and they are showing that it has now cleared in 2 days. Those are some of the stories that are relatable. Those are stories that are relatable to what people are going through in terms of your audience. And then your soap is there to support and help with the skin clearance, which is actually how you then position your product or service to meet someone else's need. Then we have the next marketing technique, that is referral marketing. Referral marketing goes back to the whole point of someone has liked your product. Someone has praised that it has actually worked for them, for their skin. You don't even have to convince a person. It is me telling my neighbor, hey, you're looking for this? Oh, you have a skin rash? Use this. Use this herbal jelly. Use Movit herbal jelly. It can work on you. It can help your skin. These are some of the things you would need. And then look at ways of maybe let's say what, getting customers to bring others, give them rewards. When you get customers to bring others, it becomes referral. When you give someone a simple reward, it also becomes a referral. So then it becomes, what we are focusing more here is to say it is actually word of mouth from one person to the other, a ripple effect. It's from one person to the other. Then we talk of personal selling. Here you speak directly to customers. We've seen this happening a lot. People move from one individual to the other, explain the different benefits face to face, or you make phone calls. You call Michael, hello Michael, I have this product. You clearly explain to Michael what it is because you're speaking to him as an individual and you're selling it yourself. Or you go to him in his DM in WhatsApp, send to him a message, and the message should be specifically to him, and you sharing what exactly you're selling. And usually with this, you also visit homes, you can visit stores. It helps a lot. Like if you're a briquette seller, really, you should be able to walk through the market, show people that the briquettes are really good, show how they burn longer than charcoal. But of course, you don't want to sell this at the charcoal stall. But yeah, just have that personal and direct engagement with your people. Then we come to promotional offers. Give discounts, free samples, loyalty cards. These are all promotional offers that you can use. You can use them to support. You can create excitement. These promotional offers create a lot of excitement. Because, and when you're giving discounts, don't tell someone you have saved 200 shillings off this. The best way to give some of these, to show off some of these discounts, maybe you can tell someone you have saved 15%, talk in terms of percentage. So it looks big because any double-digit percentage is really big. If you told me I am going to save 100,000 out of 1 million, or I'm going to save maybe 1,000 out of 10,000, it wouldn't make as much sense as saying you're going to save 10% off, because then the 10% comes off in a more valuable way. Then give out free samples. You can actually have simple, we've seen the people who have Nsenene, the grasshoppers, the people that sell to us those grasshoppers. Many of them, before you buy, we are all accustomed, before you buy the Nsenene, or the grass, which are the grasshoppers, you'll always first ask for a sample. That is a freebie before, which we call jaribu. You want to first test to be sure it's nice. Then imagine someone has tested only 2 grasshoppers, but they are going to buy a whole pack that probably costs 30,000 shillings. Those are little things that excite people. But if you are not giving actually those 2, how are you going to sell the whole pack that costs you 30,000 shillings? Then give out loyalty cards. There is a salon I go to for every time I want to do my nails. It's called Branny Nails. Every time you go to them, they give you, there's a coupon that you're given. And that coupon has the different days you've come, the different days that you've come to take their service. And if today you've done a haircut, tomorrow you've done hair texturizing, they'll put all that. So on your 6th visit, you'll get an offer. It's either whatever it is you're going to do on that day is going to be at no cost, or you're going to have, I'll have my hair done with free texturizing, or I'll have something else given to me as a token of appreciation to go back with. Maybe a small cologne, perfume for myself, different things. So those are some of the things that help with the loyalty cards, and they help with actually getting your clients excited and glued to you. Use offers like get one, buy one, get one free. We all see those offers. Currently, there's an offer I actually saw in one of the circles that I subscribe to that says you buy 2 areas at 7,000 shillings, and yet we all know that each area is actually already around 7,000. So I think that is a very good one. Buy one, get one. Those promotional offers are very good. These are not things you can do. The offers and the free samples and the discounts are not things you can do every time, but these are things you can choose to do based on your marketing plan. At what point do you intend to get customers to actually buy more or to push more for people to know who you are? But for the loyalty cards, you can just have them so that people can redeem their rewards at any time that they would what? They would really want to. Then we go to the next, social media marketing. Here, like we talked before, post regularly, especially these updates. Post your updates, pictures, gather customer feedback. And by the customer feedback doesn't only mean positive or good reviews. No. Even when you receive bad reviews, I remember one time there is a bank that got a bad review and someone wrote it on their car. I don't know if people remember when it was one of the banks.
I remember the incident. Yeah,
yeah, and they were very, the customer was very unhappy with their services. But you see, the same bank also pushed that thing, pushed that complaint, but responded to it positively. Not by putting down everything, not by calling to try and threaten the customer not to share the wrong feed, but by turning it into an opportunity. They went back as a bank, serviced the customer, and made sure they managed that particular issue. Going forward, the customer even changed on their car to now praising them as one of the best. So let's use feedback to improve. We shouldn't look at it in terms of the negative reviews only, in terms of positive reviews only. Even the negative reviews can be opportunities for us to create value. Then share your different offers. Those offers should be shared online. For example, every morning as a food vendor, you should be posting your menu and your price every day. What's the new menu today? What do you have new today? What's that unique menu that you have to offer that you have not been sharing every day? Like we have people who did not know that there is pasted chicken. So if you're in an environment where people have actually been eating chicken, people still eat peanut butter and all that, surprise them today. Put that peanut butter butter, what we call locally as OD. Put that paste, the peanut paste, into the chicken. Share with them special menu of that day. So everybody's going to be surprised and shocked. They want to understand, but how do you even paste chicken? So they'll want to see, they'll want to test, they'll want to get, to the experiential aspect of it, of how does it taste? Is it even possible? So we've seen people pasting, having pasted offals. Whoever thinks you can actually paste offals. But I mean, when you go to the restaurant and there's pasted offals, or on the menu there's pasted offals, have something unique in your area that will, and remember that is very healthy eating. So have something unique on your menu that you're going to put out there and share with the public. And above all, when it comes to social media marketing, one thing you should remember is you don't just post once, because we move on. People move on. People are dynamic. We move on. Post regularly. Post more often. Share what exactly you're doing. Give updates. If you've posted today, wait at least today, the next day to pass. Post again on Wednesday. If today is Wednesday, post again on Friday. But even in the different postings, share updates. Show us what it is you're doing. What's new that you're doing. Yeah. So that's it in terms of marketing techniques. And I actually think we've shared. Oh, there is packaging. There's also packaging and labeling for the marketing techniques, and that is very key. I don't know how it had skipped my mind. That is very, very key. Packaging and labeling. How do you package? How do you package your products? You're selling pancakes, and you have very high market for the pancakes. But then you're using paper that has wording on it. we've seen how this happens. People have printed paper with written black, used paper that has already been printed on is what you're using to package your pancakes. And moreover, you're putting the pancakes inside that part that is written on. Okay, worst case, can you just turn it the other way around and put where? But how will it also look on the outside when you put the words there and yet inside it's pancakes? We can improve. There are so many things we can do. Now, I've seen very innovative people. Right now, we have people who sell pancakes that are very innovative. Have you noticed that lately, they don't even use papers anymore to package our pancakes? People are actually going as far as, we have the banana leaves. People now smoke the banana leaves and wrap the pancakes. So you buy pancakes and you buy them packaged in banana leaves. So then there is that aroma that comes with it. That's value already that you're adding to your product. Because for you're thinking, oh no, me, I'm just selling pancakes. So what will happen to me if I cannot actually, if anyone wants pancakes, they'll come and buy for 1,000, that's enough. But do you realize that when you package it in those banana leaves, and then your place is very clean, you don't even have to have a somersaulting stall that has, I don't know what, 3D, 5D kind of thing. No, have a very neat stall that is well organized, that is clean, that is neat. Trust me, I will park my Range Rover in front of you and buy the pancakes without fear or shame. But now you're putting pancakes in a paper, and the paper has different words on it. God forbid, but maybe you've even gotten it from a health facility. They used envelopes and it's showing someone's prescription of how you have this disease, and then you're packing the pancakes inside it. No. It starts from the basics. Don't wait until you get that multi-billion saving for you to think you can market or sell. No, it starts from as small as that. Like I've told you, those banana leaves, those are things we get in all our gardens everywhere. Cleanliness is hygiene. You don't need, like I said, you don't need a somersaulting stall. But clearly, we all know that once everything is clean and neat, no flies and nothing, you will bring in as many clients as possible. And these clients are from all walks of life. We've seen, one example I would say is, what exactly people like a lot, the corporates like cassava. I do not know I don't know if it's because of that, there's a time during COVID when the president talked of how healthy cassava is.
Yeah.
I don't know if it picked up from that time, but what I can confirm to you is that cassava has picked up. People love cassava. You will have cassava in the morning at about 6. Usually they are very early people. But by 8 o'clock, there is no cassava. It is over. And these people cannot supply anymore. But then, you also remember you've limited part of the market. Now just imagine you have packaged your place. You're giving out this cassava in a probably more better packaging. Trust me, instead of selling cassava of just 30 or 50,000 a day, you are going to sell cassava of over 100,000 in a day, because all those cars passing, all these corporates you see, all the business people, everyone will buy. Why? Because they are not afraid. You look very hygienic, so the packaging is very clean. Then you even make it better when you get money now, and you want, like they told you in yesterday's session, that there is that come money you can always borrow, that come money for your uplift.
Yeah.
Now, when you reach to that point of uplifting the business, you can get into the labeling bit. And labeling doesn't only come with your name. Labeling, you'll give your name, then you just add what we would call in Uganda, kujanja waza a bit. Like you add a bit of, like, okay, now these are pancakes. What are the ingredients in this pancake? Then you put bananas, apple bananas, cassava flour, sand-free cassava flour, maybe organic. I mean, you just put some of those things.
Like some good phrase that really attracts people.
That attracts people and shows, moreover, exactly the content of that thing that someone is eating. Because now that one, remember, there are people who have allergies, different allergies. I don't take gluten-free, I'm diabetic, so they don't have to test something to tell that it already has what they can't take, or for them to react to it. So imagine you're at that point where with your pancakes today, you're able to just list down the different ingredients. Is if you're using milk to mix, does the milk come from cow? What does it, like all that detail? That should be part of the labeling, on top of the labeling that comes with your name, with your contact, and with the other clear benefits. So I think that becomes very key for us, and I think that's for it in terms of the marketing techniques. Those are the key ones that we can pick out under that. Then we come to, we've been talking about the different strategies in terms of sales strategies. We've gone through them. We've gone through the marketing strategies and we've understood them. But can we still distinguish the difference between marketing strategies and the sales strategies? Can we distinguish this? Yes, we have goals. Looking at the goals, we all have goals as an industry, or as a business. We have a particular goal towards. And in this goal, what is our purpose? What is our focus? The difference here is that the marketing strategy is differentiates from the sales strategy in a way that, let me give a basic example. I know you're reading on the screen to understand the differences, but now for me to break it down for you on top of what you're reading is one, when you're looking at goals, as a marketer, if you're a honey processor, a honey processor here wants people to know that her honey is pure and organic. That is the essence of the marketer in particular. So that is what it is for you in terms of your goals. And then for us, and then the salesperson, the same honey seller, actually targets selling like 50 liters in a week through the different market visits. So you realize that all of you are towards the same goal. You have one purpose. So this person is building awareness, whereas the other person is converting the leads from the awareness into revenue, because your purpose is one, revenue. You want to generate revenue. Then in terms of focus, you're all focusing on relationships. So when you're focusing on relationships, whereas one person is long-term, the other person has to now get in for the short-term income so that they can hit the targets. Then what's next? We're looking at the target audience. When you look at the target audience, we are usually looking at who is targeted and what approach will you use for that particular target. Then here, a maize farmer. In marketing, a maize farmer maybe will come up and say, let me run a few jingles or spot ads or maybe some few adverts on radio, at least for all households in Hoima. So they'll of course focus on the community radio. Maybe if there is we have a radio Hoima, and then use it to pass on the announcement. Or even using these normal, we have those village radios, the announcements where we're making the market. We can use that because while the marketer is doing that, the salesperson, now under sales, a shopkeeper calls the boda riders directly to offer a bulk maize flour deal. What does that mean? That means the only difference between the two strategies in terms of approach is that while the marketer is going to run the adverts, the seller, or in sales, it's now not about running the adverts. It's about bringing the product for the market. Then we have the third, which is metrics. How is success measured? This also goes to what the audience is interested in. How is success measured? We're looking at KPIs. What are KPIs? These are our key performance indicators. And when we come to marketing, we are looking at different ways of how we can tell or how we can actually confirm that our different campaigns have worked or haven't worked. For example, when you're marketing, like online, you're going to look at website traffic. You're going to look at the different website traffic. You're going to look at brand awareness. You're going to look at the social media likes. How many people are liking? How many people are engaging? How many people are basically commenting? Like, how are people involved? And how many people are actually moving towards are visiting your website? And we use different tools for this. We also have Facebook Insights that can be able to tell us who, where, and how. So then we're able to know, is it by search? Is it by, you're able to tell, is it after they have seen a certain video? Like right now we see on WhatsApp, when there's people put their different marketing material or promotional material on WhatsApp, there's an option for you to click and probably engage directly. When you click on Instagram, it takes you to WhatsApp, so you engage directly with the person, and in that way you're able to know that that the person is either coming directly or not. And we'll go to next in terms of timeline. Or someone would actually ask, what is that example? What is that example for a person in terms of the metrics? What example for us to be able to relate? So there we will say, when a marketer comes and says, or when in marketing, what you do is a seamstress maybe tracking on how many people have liked your dress, the post that you've put on WhatsApp, and you want to know how many people have actually liked it, or how many people are asking you about it. Here, the shopkeeper instantly in sales calls the riders directly. Like, you note down the 3 different customers that have asked you about the product, who saw the product come, and how they bought the dress, or if they're actually going to buy the dress. Then we have the next aspect, which is a timeline. When we talk about timeline, and we want to understand the difference between the sales and the marketing strategies, we are talking duration, we are talking focus. When it's marketing, duration is long term, usually months to years. You can't have a marketing strategy that is just days or 3 or one day, 2 days. No. But with the sales strategy, you can actually have one that is long term. And what does that mean? Even in terms of focus, brand building and customer trust will then come over time. And then deals and targets is now where the sales strategy will come in. That they'll be focused on deals, they'll be focused on targets and immediate cash flow. So in marketing, basically, a brand of herbal juice builds trust over 6 months, maybe with testimonies and tips from the different consumers before. But as a sale, as sales, you make sure there is a launch, there's a weekend promo, there's that launch over the weekend with a promo, and in that promo there is always an instant. There's always an instant something. Let me give an example. We've seen that the telecos probably, well, let's say we've seen Omo all over telling us tough on stains, gentle on fabrics, and in all that area. But there are times they do those drives, for example, into the market, because they have understood that the market is where some of their key audience is, their key market, the target audience is. Why? Because the market really has a lot of involvement with different things, hygiene, that, and you're trying to show that actually cleanliness is key, and with Omo, it's perfect for you, you're good to go. What does that mean? That means when you bring a promo that weekend, you're not now just pushing the different thing you've been driving of saying, oh, Omo, people listening to Omo on radios or seeing in posters. Now you're there. Now that you're there, you're even telling people, come and buy. We are here, come and buy. Buy one, get one free. So you're actually sharing with the public. You're sharing with them to buy, like the timeline is immediate. So people are going to come and purchase immediately. And that is basically the difference in terms of timeline. Yeah. So then we go to our next, which is what we are going to next is alignment between marketing and sales strategies. We have known what marketing and sales is. We have known what exactly sales is. We have known exactly what marketing is. We have known the differences. We have known their different strategies. We have known their different techniques. And we have known their differences in their strategies. Now, now we also need to know one thing, the alignment between the strategies. Alignment basically means that sales and marketing are working towards the same goal. They're understanding a shared information. They're using a shared information. Think of marketing as, if I'm to put it down in terms of, if I'm to explain it for us to understand casually, think of marketing as preparing the soil and planting, and then sales as harvesting the crops. If they don't work together, the farm fails. Then areas where sales and marketing should align, there are those key areas where sales and marketing should align. Just like they have differences in those areas, we also have where there is a synergy. Now when you come to the shared goals, because remember the goal has to be a shared one, you'll have to have one focus and one purpose. So when you come to the shared goals, marketing will attract people and build the interest, whereas sales will interest them into the buying. Now there you see, it's interwoven. It's in such a way that if marketing doesn't attract people, then there will be no people to buy the product. So both work to increase revenue and customer loyalty. Because an example is marketing will run a campaign and talk about the different honey, the honey that you have, how organic it is, and then sales will follow up with bulk offers to shops that show interest. We've seen these cars that move around and then telling us about their different products, and there are little boys and girls behind following and moving from shop to shop, sharing that particular product that is actually being announced. The road shows. We've seen the road shows do a lot of that. Actually, road shows are a typical example of how we align. The road show is moving on, telling people everything we are hearing from as far, but we can't see. Then shortly after, you'll see a young girl or man in front of you with the product you've been hearing about. And that clearly shows you that we aligned. Then in terms of target audience, we all focus on the same people and the same message. If we have decided that this is the target audience we are going to follow, we are going to focus on the students. Let's all focus on students. Even the information that marketing is going to put out there should be information that relates with the students and finds the students where they are. An example is like a university student. If you want to sell something to a university student, as a salesperson, you're clear, or as the person they're going to sell, you're clear, you have the product and you want to take it to the university student. But how do you get the university student? First of all, before you get to them, you're going to get them maybe on WhatsApp, maybe on Instagram, in different ways. You're going to get them in different avenues before you actually go to them physically. So that by the time they are already on seeing the product that you're selling physically, they have seen it on WhatsApp or they have seen it on the different social media platforms. Meaning, you're all focusing on the same people, you're speaking the same language, and you're using the right channels. Because I'll not be focusing on the university students, and then marketing is running adverts on Facebook. or running adverts on, let me say, LinkedIn, or running adverts on things that we don't actually follow at all anymore as a university student. So, and then let me give an example again. Like when you're targeting the boda riders for the energy drink that you're probably working on making, they might have seen these on posters and everything. And they might have seen it, let me say, all over. They have seen it on posters, they've listened to it on radio, they've heard about it, that it's a good energy drink, it's healthy. What do as the sales arm? Go with those products to a boda stage, because you're already seen your key target are the riders. Go with that product to a boda stage and then give them samples. Let them actually get first-hand access to it. Let it not be hard for them to even access it, and yet they are your target audience. So you know where the target is and you know where the market is. Then now we'll go next to the messaging and value proposition. Craft your messages and stories according to the product. Message, make sure you both communicate the same promise or benefit. Let someone not say, I'm selling these solar lamps and they don't need fuel. Then your marketing is actually showing that no, you will need a half liter of fuel at least to take you 3 days. No, communicate the same so that you all, for example, when the marketing team decides to say we are going to promote solar lights and we are promoting them as long-lasting lights that last for over 12 hours with no fuel needed. The sales team should then come on ground and just repeat actually what you have done, but now in a more practical way. They will come with the solar lights, bring them to the communities. You show the communities how these solar lights work, and show them, demonstrate to them the different benefits they will get, and the different benefits that have been communicated by the marketing team. If the marketing team talked of the 12 hours, be sure to re-emphasize it on ground, because you're actually re-emphasizing to the people who are going to buy. You're letting them understand that, oh, these are the solar lights they've been talking about. Hey, now they are here. Basically, you've aligned in your messaging and your value proposition. So it's very key. Communicate the same promise and the same benefits. Then, the other is content and tools. Make sure you are equipped and you align and you're talking this. And when you make sure you're equipped and that sales is equipped with the right materials to do the job, because salespeople need to have information of what it is. We've seen people who, let me say, go to sell a certain product and they don't mention the key unique selling point for that product. Why? Because probably it's gone off their heads, or they don't think it's important, or because they think it is obvious. As the marketing arm, what have you done? Create flyers, create brochures, create tools that will be used by the sales team to do what? To do their selling. If marketing develops a brochure on fuel-saving stoves, give these different salespeople to use this. Let them be able to explain, to share with people what exactly you're preaching or interesting the public about with the right materials. Then feedback and data sharing. That is very, very key. Let me tell you, in everything we do, in everything you have chosen to do, if you choose to ignore feedback, you are killing your business. If you choose to ignore data, you're ignoring your business. You're killing business. Like, you are completely doing things that will not help you at all, because then you've ignored the most important, which is feedback and data sharing. Let me give you an example. You'll find a marketing person or the marketing arm, or in your business, you just want to sound so exotic. Then you mention things like you're working with creams. Then you mention things like shea butter moisture, shea butter moisture blend. So everybody's asking, what does shea butter moisture blend mean? Like that statement doesn't make any sense, but you maybe try to figure out and say, maybe they are meaning it's shea butter that helps with the skin. But just imagine you came up with something as simple as saying shea butter skins for all, or all skin types. I mean, that makes it more simpler than you coming up to say, oh, shea butter moisture blend. You see? So let's have feedback, because how you know that? Why I've given that example is because there's someone that is dealing in shea butter products, and I think one of their conversations or their big texts were actually saying, oh, shea moisture, it was shea butter moisture blend. And then the team comes back from the field and says, people are not understanding that. People don't know what you actually mean. Then you also notice the people buying are very few. Until marketing sat down and said, oh, that's the feedback you've brought back. Then they changed it to suit the needs and started saying, okay, you can say for all skin types, it's skin for all. Now, from that time, they even noticed that based on their data, it had actually shot. It had shot in terms of revenue. They had made more money than they've been making. And that's a very good thing. That's what shows you that feedback is very key. Until we take feedback seriously or with interest to use it for improvement, our businesses are going to run down the trench. From where we are, I want us to all believe that we have now understood exactly how we should align as marketing and sales. And I want my dear viewers to continue sending in those questions, just in case there's anything you need clarity on. We can give clarity even after here. You can continue to engage us, because CNOC is really there to support this agenda.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks to Ms. Apio. This has been very insightful, and I'm sure many of you are picking lessons. Let's go for a short break. When we come back, we'll come back with your questions, and we'll have a recap of the whole session that we've had since morning, and then that will be the end of our day. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going for a short break. We will be back in 10.
The Kingfisher Oilfields development has evolved, reaching some significant milestones after CNOC Uganda Limited and its joint venture partners signed the final investment decision. Land for the construction of different facilities was acquired and compensation was fully made. Cash and in-kind compensation, like resettlement houses for all families, were built and handed over to the project-affected persons. Construction commenced for different aspects of the project, leading to the development of facilities such as the camps, well pads, the central processing facility, and feeder lines, followed by the delivery of the rigs and installation. Spudding was done in January 2023. There have been promising drilling outcomes, with 7 wells drilled in pads 2 and 3. Drilling operations, coring and on-site works are continuing, achieving total footage of approximately 23,000 meters. Other noticeable activities include a base station and permanent camp, solar turbine transportation, EPC 3-tank erection work, and EPC 4 pipeline trenching. CNOC will actively promote the LPG integration plan, which will gradually achieve the strategic transformation towards a green and low-carbon energy supplier. A camp integrated hydropower project has been set up, which will result in carbon dioxide emission reduction by 3,156 tons. CNOC has continued to contribute to the Belt and Road, people-to-people exchanges, enhancing China-Africa friendship and promoting the building of a community with a shared future for mankind. CNOC collaborates with various Ugandan universities to enhance graduate employment curriculum design and research. We have signed agreements with several institutions to support scientific research and develop talents in the oil and gas sector. CNOC, in collaboration with 5 other Chinese companies on the Kingfisher project, spearheaded a drive that led to the donation of $500,000 to upgrade the infrastructure of the Entebbe Welfare School. This is the largest donation to education in Uganda.
On behalf of the Ministry of Education and Sport, I would like to extend my gratitude to Sinok Uganda Limited and the contractors of Kingfisher Oil Fields for your commitment to the cause of vulnerable and challenged children.
Sinok sponsors international scholarships, sending Ugandan students to study in China. Under this program, a total of 11 students have been sponsored and 8 have since graduated and are currently working in the oil and gas industry.
This scholarship to me is a dream come true. I'd always wanted to receive a first-class education from a good school, and Sinok has provided me with this opportunity, this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Sinok focuses on training and certification programs for skills needed in the oil and gas industry, which promotes local employment and strengthens Uganda's logistics and industrial capacity. Over 150 contractors and more than 3,000 individuals have been trained in various oil and gas skills. The company collaborates with local vocational schools to provide welder training, significantly contributing to Uganda's professional welding sector.
They took the initiative to sponsor us who are underdogs, and they want to put us somewhere. We thank them a lot. There's nothing much we can give them, but maybe use the skills properly so that they can also feel they have done some impact in the Uganda we have now.
Sinok Youth Employment Support Program has trained over 350 local youths in various vocational skills, improving their employability and living conditions. These trainings cover welding, heavy truck driving, heavy machinery operation, engineering construction, and other skills needed in the oil and gas field development, as well as driving, tailoring, and hairdressing, among others. Sinok invests in projects to improve community living standards, such as providing clean drinking water to over 13,000 residents in Buhuka flats, carrying out medical camps and building resettlement houses with modern amenities for 56 households. We have also invested $620,000 in maintaining critical roads and enhancing public safety. Livelihood restoration programs include donating livestock and teaching scientific breeding methods. We also work closely with the Confucius Institute of Makerere University, supporting events like the Chinese Bridge Competition and the Sound in My Heart Chinese Song Competition. Sinok also organizes activities to celebrate Chinese culture, such as the Spring Festival. These efforts enrich cultural communication and foster mutual understanding between China and Uganda.
Sinok Uganda Limited is committed to education and capacity building to fulfill its vision of energy for Uganda.
A rig is a group of equipment that we assemble, we test, and then we commission or operationalize to help us dig the wells, have them under control, have them completed, and get them ready for the production phase.
We have built capacity to handle equipment from the ship up to the last mile in a Kingfisher.
The convoys have been in the range of 15 to 20 trucks and driving all the way from Mombasa to Malaba in about 3 days. Then they would come from Malaba to Mukono, spend the night. Then early morning we would set off from Mukono to Hoima.
We have employed Ugandans, so that's a good way of appreciating and saying yes, it is possible that we Ugandans, we can be involved in this oil and gas, and we perform excellently.
Kingfisher oil fields development has evolved, reaching some significant milestones after Sinok Uganda Limited and its joint venture partners signed the final investment decision. Land for the construction of different facilities was acquired and compensation was fully made. Cash and in-kind compensation, like resettlement houses for all families, were built and handed over to the project-affected persons. Construction commenced for different aspects of the project, leading to the development of facilities such as the camps, well pads, the central processing facility, and feeder lines, followed by the delivery of the rigs and installation. Spudding was done in January 2023. There have been promising drilling outcomes, with 7 wells drilled in pads 2 and 3. Drilling operations Coring and on-site works are continuing, achieving total footage of approximately 23,000 meters. Other noticeable activities include a base station and permanent camp, solar turbine transportation, EPC-3 tank erection work, and EPC-4 pipeline trenching. CNOOC will actively promote the LPG integration plan, which will gradually achieve the strategic transformation towards a green and low-carbon energy supplier. A camp integrated hydropower project has been set up, which will result in carbon dioxide emission reduction by 3,156 tons. CNOOC has continued to contribute to the Belt and Road, people-to-people exchanges, enhancing China-Africa friendship and promoting the building of a community with a shared future for mankind. CNOOC collaborates with various Ugandan universities to enhance graduate employment curriculum design and research. We have signed agreements with several institutions to support scientific research and develop talents in the oil and gas sector. CNOOC, in collaboration with 5 other Chinese companies on the Kingfisher project, spearheaded a drive that led to the donation of $500,000 to upgrade the infrastructure of the Entebbe Welfare School. This is the largest donation to education in Uganda.
On behalf of the Ministry of Education and Sport, I would like to extend my gratitude to CNOOC Uganda Limited and the contractors of Kingfisher Oil Fields for your commitment to the cause of vulnerable and challenged children.
CNOOC sponsors international scholarships, sending Ugandan students to study in China. Under this program, a total of 11 students have been sponsored and 8 have since graduated and are currently working in the oil and gas industry.
This scholarship to me is a dream come true. I always wanted to receive a first-class education from a good school, and CNOOC has provided me with this opportunity, this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
CNOOC focuses on training and certification programs for skills needed in the oil and gas industry, which promotes local employment and strengthens Uganda's logistics and industrial capacity. Over 150 contractors and more than 3,000 individuals have been trained in various oil and gas skills. The company collaborates with local vocational schools to provide welder training, significantly contributing to Uganda's professional welding sector.
They took the initiative to sponsor us who are underdogs, and they want to put us somewhere. We thank them a lot. There's nothing much we can give them, but maybe use the skills properly so that they can also feel they have done some impact in the Uganda we have now.
CNOOC Youth Employment Support Program has trained over 350 local youths in various vocational skills, improving their employability and living conditions. These trainings cover welding, heavy truck driving, heavy machinery operation, engineering construction, and other skills needed in the oil and gas field development, as well as driving, tailoring, and hairdressing, among others. CNOOC invests in projects to improve community living standards, such as providing clean drinking water to over 13,000 residents in Buhuka flats, carrying out medical camps and building resettlement houses with modern amenities for 56 households. We have also invested $620,000 in maintaining critical roads and enhancing public safety. Livelihood restoration programs include donating livestock and teaching scientific breeding methods. We also work closely with the Confucius Institute of Makerere University, supporting events like the Chinese Bridge Competition and the Sound in My Heart Chinese Song Competition. CNOOC also organizes activities to celebrate Chinese culture, such as the Spring Festival. These efforts enrich cultural communication and foster mutual understanding between China and Uganda.
CNOOC Uganda Limited is committed to education and capacity building to fulfill its vision of energy for Uganda.
The Kingfisher oil fields development has evolved, reaching some significant milestones after CNOOC Uganda Limited and its joint venture partners signed the final investment decision. Land for the construction of different facilities was acquired and compensation was fully made. Cash and in-kind compensation, like resettlement houses for all families, were built and handed over to the project-affected persons. Construction commenced for different aspects of the project, leading to the development of facilities such as the camps, well pads, the central processing facility, and feeder lines, followed by the
A rig is a group of equipment that we assemble, we test, and then we commission or operationalize to help us dig the wells, have them under control, have them completed, and get them ready for the production phase.
We have built capacity to handle equipment from the ship up to the last mile in the Kingfisher.
The convoys have been in the range of 15 to 20 trucks and driving all the way from Mombasa to Malaba in about 3 days. Then they would come from Malaba to Mukono, spend a night. Then early morning we would set off from Mukono to Hoima.
We have employed Ugandans, so that's a good way of appreciating and saying, yes, it is possible that we Ugandans, we can be involved in this oil and gas, and we perform excellently.
The Kingfisher oil fields development has evolved, reaching some significant milestones after CNOOC Uganda Limited and its joint venture partners signed the final investment decision. Land for the construction of different facilities was acquired and compensation was fully made. Cash and in-kind compensation, like resettlement houses for all families, were built and handed over to the project-affected persons. Construction commenced for different aspects of the project, leading to the development of facilities such as the camps, well pads, the central processing facility, and feeder lines, followed by the delivery of the rigs and installation. Spudding was done in January 2023. There have been promising drilling outcomes, with 7 wells drilled in pads 2 and 3. Drilling operations, coring and on-site works are continuing, achieving total footage of approximately 23,000 meters. Other noticeable activities include a base station and permanent camp, solar turbine transportation, EPC 3-tank erection work, and EPC 4 pipeline trenching. CNOOC will actively promote the LPG integration plan, which will gradually achieve the strategic transformation towards a green and low-carbon energy supplier. A camp integrated hydropower project has been set up, which will result in carbon dioxide emission reduction by 3,156 tons. CNOOC has continued to contribute to the Belt and Road, people-to-people exchanges, enhancing China-Africa friendship and promoting the building of a community with a shared future for mankind. CNOOC collaborates with various Ugandan universities to enhance graduate employment curriculum design and research. We have signed agreements with several institutions to support scientific research and develop talents in the oil and gas sector. CNOOC, in collaboration with 5 other Chinese companies on the Kingfisher project, spearheaded a drive that led to the donation of $500,000 to upgrade the infrastructure of the Entebbe Welfare School. This is the largest donation to education in Uganda.
On behalf of the Ministry of Education and Sport, I would like to extend my gratitude to CNOOC Uganda Limited and the contractors of Kingfisher oil fields for your commitment to the cause of vulnerable and challenged children.
CNOOC sponsors international scholarships, sending Ugandan students to study in China. Under this program, a total of 11 students have been sponsored and 8 have since graduated and are currently working in the oil and gas industry.
This scholarship to me is a dream come true. I always wanted to receive a first-class education from a good school, and CNOOC has provided me with this opportunity, this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
CNOOC focuses on training and certification programs for skills needed in the oil and gas industry, which promotes local employment and strengthens Uganda's logistics and industrial capacity. Over 150 contractors and more than 3,000 individuals have been trained in various oil and gas skills. The company collaborates with local vocational schools to provide welder training, significantly contributing to Uganda's professional welding sector.
They took the initiative to sponsor us who are underdogs, and they want to put us somewhere. We thank them a lot. There's nothing much you can give them, but maybe use the skills properly so that they can also feel they have done some impact in the Uganda we have now.
CNOOC Youth Employment Support Program has trained over 350 local youths in various vocational skills, improving their employability and living conditions. These trainings cover welding, heavy truck driving, heavy machinery operation, engineering construction, and other skills needed in the oil and gas field development, as well as driving, tailoring, and hairdressing, among others. CNOOC invests in projects to improve community living standards.
Back from the short break, it has been really very short. and we will continue with Miss Apio Sarah. And right now, I think she will be taking us through customer experience and quite a number of issues that we really have to learn about marketing. So I will request Miss Apio Sarah to take us through this in just 90 minutes so that we can come in with our question.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. We are back, and thank you, our viewers. Customer experience, now we've gotten into the heart of our customers. This is the heart of marketing. This is the heart of sales. This is the heart of everything we do today, tomorrow, any day, anytime. Customer experience. So this is basically how we make our customers feel when they deal with us, when they deal with our businesses. It's how we make them feel. Do they feel welcomed? Do you keep your promises? Is your product worth their money? If the answer is yes, they're likely to come back or even bring friends. Then it's basically the entire journey that the customer has with your business, from the first time they heard about your product to the moment they buy and even after they have used and when they come back. That's basically what customer experience is. Now, a clear example of what customer experience is, I've given you there. We will be able to go through the slides from where you are, but I'll just rush through them as well. For example, you have a salon. We all know when you go to a salon, one of the things we are scared of is people who wash your hair and it pours on your body. So, and you get up and your whole clothes are wet and drenched as if it's been raining inside. So if you get into this salon and they greet you when you enter, you know, and they keep time when they promise your hair will take 10 minutes and it actually takes 10 minutes. And then they even say thank you for the money after you've given them. That's what we call good customer experience. Now, we've also had scenarios where you get into a salon and everybody's continuing to do what they're doing. They are gossiping, they are laughing. It's as if you've not entered. No one cares whether you've entered or not. And then the net towel they put on you probably has a bed bug. It's stinking. It's not what you really want or what you expect. That is bad customer experience. So in a nutshell, that is what it is. I'm sure all of us relate with salons. Then when you look at what's the value, someone will ask, what's so important about customer experience? The value, that is the whole thing I'm telling you, because customer experience is the heart of your business. How people feel. Sometimes people don't even buy because they like your product. Sometimes they'll buy just because they like how you treat them and how they feel when you service them or give them the product. So, and there are so many values for customer experience that runs all the way from loyalty, having return customers, referrals, people telling others about your product, then of course your sales getting up, and then fewer complaints. Your complaints basically will go lower and your brand reputation will also improve. Everybody will be talking well about you. We see an example of Cafe Javas where we remember that incident of the, was it a rat or lizard? You see, the institution as Javas itself did not have to come out to talk about it. It is us, the customers, that fought for our product that we like. So it didn't matter whether the rat was actually there or not. We did not believe. And even if we believed, we still believed in them. We gave them the opportunity. We believed that they were actually a good brand, and that was not something that could easily happen. And that comes because of brand reputation. Then that's basically where the value comes in terms of how you treat your customers. And you know, it locks us into, or it pushes us to the next thing about a good customer experience. You acquire more customers. That is what we call customer acquisition. Customer acquisition basically means getting new people to buy from your business. It's everything you do to make strangers become first-time customers. So if someone has never heard of your, let me say, of your soap or your honey or the tailoring business, then and you do something to bring them to buy that first time, that is what we call customer acquisition. Your customer acquisition, you'll offer free testing at the trading center. And what will the result be? Honestly, like we always say in our day-to-day, hafazari. Yeah? afadhali 10 people will buy those at least bottles of juice that day. Not everyone will just test and let it go. And that is already customer acquisition. Yeah. Then we go to, to what we consider now customer retention. Once you have acquired this customer, do you want them to go away? Or are you going to bring them back for another purchase? What's your goal? Of course, everybody wants a return customer. So there's no way you're going to sell something with the thought of saying it's a one-off transaction. No. But what does customer retention actually mean? Customer retention means keeping your current customers coming back. It's like making sure a customer doesn't just buy once and disappear. They keep coming back just because they're happy with you. That's basically what it is. And what are the key metrics? The repeat purchase rates. Once you see people, like, you know, how often, like the number of times they come back to buy from you, you're sure it has worked. So with the other different metrics that you'll probably go through when you get any of your time to dive deep into it. Then we have the key customer retention strategies. What are these strategies that we need for us to retain customers? You know, these things, the beauty about marketing and sales is these things actually they just keep repeating each other. When you look at quality service and follow-up, those are things we talked about in the strategies and techniques. So here I'm just reminding you that for you to actually retain a customer, make sure you have those follow-ups with your customer, the loyalty programs, personalized communications. We've seen banks writing to us using our own names. Oh, dear Sarah, happy birthday. May this year come with a lot of fulfillment and ABCD. That alone just makes you very happy. The bank remembers me. They even call me by name. Now, just imagine you do that to your own clients down at that level. Then the after-sales support. If I've bought a shoe from you and the sole has come off into me in 2 days, really, if I come back to you, at least be there to support me. You may not give me a new shoe, but at least put for me glue, or at least get a cobbler to help me out and understand how and why it probably came off. Maybe you stepped in water, maybe anything of that category. Just communicate to the client. Handle your complaints and feedback properly. Like, don't give a deaf ear. Don't turn your backs on complaints and feedback. That's where actually the real opportunity is. In the complaints and feedback, that's where the real opportunity is. It's the whole gist of marketing, because then you understand, and now this time you're giving back with the ability to actually impress and meet the client's needs. You should also create a community. There's a community I follow online for, there's a gentleman called Balamaga. He sells pork, he does keto things, but he created this community in such a way that you follow, for you to be able to see his status, you must have purchased at least 2 kilograms and above, or at least purchased any of his products. And he has very interesting topics. We always go through topics across different things. Even this, you see the trainings we are having now, he also brings similar trainings, surprisingly, to the groups. He has even opened up a savings, a group that saves, a group that does fitness together. It's a community. Now we all follow him. Or if I spend a day without checking Balamaga, I am disturbed. And then I have to keep my subscription in one way, by making sure at least I buy a kilogram
of
a kilogram of pork, of that meat.
So you have a pork committee and an association.
But then he even has halal. He even has halal, but now I'm bringing it from the angle. And to show that he actually understands his clients. His halal branch is very far, like in Muyenga. He's actually here in Muyenga, and yet ours, the pork it's in Namugongo.
So he's a priest and a sheikh at the same time.
I think that's what we should say. But respecting both and distinguishing them completely, respectfully. And it gives us value in all those kinds of things. Now, trust me, there is no way you are going to talk about when I have a function. There's no way I'm going to go to anywhere else, because I'm going to go to him. I'm going to call him and tell him, hey, Balamaga, I have a function of 10. Provide your catering services. And he'll do basically that. Why? Because I have trusted him. I don't even have to follow up and find out how it will be. Then we have subscription options. And subscription is in different ways. My dear viewers, don't think subscription is only going online and then you subscribe to what? You know these things like how they say? Or online, put your password, put your card details, and then you're asking yourself, I don't even have an ATM or ABCD. No. Subscription comes in many ways. Like I've given you Balamagai's example. With his whatever he trades in, his subscription is the fact that you have purchased at least in the past 3 months or in the past month of your being part of his community. That's your subscription fee. Yeah. And when people actually now buy because they want to follow his content, they don't now just buy for themselves. People even sponsor. Yeah. So that's basically the part of the retention practice here that I was going to give you. So you can just go through it at your point. Then lastly, we have discussed all these things. We have started from what marketing is, from what sales is, from everything, and we have the techniques, the strategies, customer experience, acquisition, retention. What is your plan? What is your plan? So I want to leave this as an assignment to you. But basically, what I mean by a marketing plan is a roadmap. I mean, we need to have a roadmap for attracting customers. It's your step-by-step guide for getting more customers. So you basically need it. It will show you what you're selling, who you want to sell to, how you want to sell to them, then how you'll know if it's, how much you'll spend, and how you'll know if it's actually working. Because for every marketing campaign or activity or plan that you have, you should be in position to measure its impact. And you know, today it's very key to have purpose for everything that we do. So when you have chosen to do something, at least measure the impact in terms of the community around you. How have you impacted on them? You have decided that you want to actually give a training on ABCD. How is it going to impact on the community? So besides even the revenue growth that we get, we also need that impact in terms of community impact. So for you to measure that marketing plan, you have to put all those things in place. There are key elements of a marketing plan, and these are basically situation analysis, marketing objectives, and it's knowing where am I. So imagine you're running a small business, like making shea buttercream or roasted groundnuts or anything. You just need a simple guide of getting more customers to purchase or to at least give you a big market share, really. And what are you going to do in this regard? Situation analysis. You're going to understand, where am I? It's at this point where you do that SWOT analysis. Where am I? Takes you back to that person whom I said sells groundnuts, but noticed that during school time, the groundnuts are now not actually being taken. So while for them, they would want to look at it as a weakness, and they say, or a threat, or whatever, of saying, my groundnuts don't move during school time. Now they'll use that to probably refocus their energies. They'll know that now, since it's school time, maybe the children go very early to school and also leave very late when I've left. What does that mean? That means you're now going to come much earlier, by 6 a.m. or even by 5:30 a.m. you'll already be at their service. And you leave late, probably by 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. to be able to, get into all that. So once you understand where you are, what your opportunities are, you have tried to figure out what your the threats around it, and how you can manage or handle, the next should really not be a problem for you. You understand where you want to go. You make sure you also understand in terms of where you want to go, that's in terms of setting a clear goal. We usually talk of the SMART goals, those measurable goals. And then we also want to look at, are you looking at higher profits? Do you want to just sell faster? We are looking at all those things. Who do you want to reach to? Where do you want to reach? And then you're looking at how will I tell them? That's now the promotion bit, you know? And here you're looking at your marketing mix. We know we used to have, in terms of the marketing mix, we used to have only 4. That was product, price, place, promotion. But now those things keep, every time, you know, like we say, people are dynamic. So we keep getting that actually there are more that people need to what we thought. So in all the different editions or in our upgrades in understanding people, we added more. So you see people came in, process came in, physical evidence for the service came in. After that, we again got 2 more added on. Because now those became 7 at first. Then now we ended up adding more too. Partnerships and purpose. Actually, we added now 3: partnerships, purpose, and personalization. What does that mean? That means for everything, like an example of that, actually the 3 last ones are things that were added just because of how people keep changing and evolving. You realize people now are very connected to everything that they do. So if it is, let me say, purpose, what is your purpose in this? Are you doing it with a purpose, or are you just doing it because it is there? Because you'll find someone who says, I want to at least improve the literacy levels in my community. So they will probably start up a school, a small daycare or something. Of course, that's a business, but a business that is driven by purpose. Your purpose to help the community, to improve the literacy levels. And then we have personalization. Right now, if you honestly cannot personalize in your business, and I don't know what you're thinking about, because right now all of us want people that can call us by name. We want people that can actually connect. Yeah? You find a bank sees probably your withdrawal status and how, you know, habit. And they know that, oh, this one keeps withdrawing this amount of money. Maybe this is what they might be investing in something like that. They're able to bring for you packages that align with your habits. That's using of the data. With the, okay, I don't want to use those hard words of the data and what, but okay, that's using the information that is happening around you, the things you're doing around you, because then the ATMs are showing how you're withdrawing and everything else. Then partnerships, we don't have to have everything to make sure we are the best. Let's leverage on each other's support. Choose 2 or 3 ways that are affordable and practical. 2 or 3 ways that are affordable and practical for all your mixes that you're taking on. Then we have a basic structure of a marketing plan for our SMEs, because when we went for that break, we noticed so many people were asking at least to have a basic structure, and that is how it looks. So I thought I would share with the team on what exactly a basic structure is. Number 1, you focus on your marketing goal, and then you target your target market. When you say marketing goal, you're looking at what you intend to achieve. When you say your market, you're looking at who exactly do you want to buy from you and where are they. Then you look at product or service description. What are you offering and what makes it special? For example, I've given you an example there. Our honey is 100% organic, collected from wild forest hives and packed in eco-friendly jars. Yeah, because we all know not all packagings are healthy or eco-friendly. So we all now understand that in everything we do, we need to be responsible. You see, the same way CNOC has actually gone through with all these developments we have in our towns. They have also gone ahead to make sure they give us training. And this is training so that nobody says, ebyo ebintu by'abagagga, which literally means those are things for the rich. No, they are trying to support the community. They want you to understand how you can actually sell your product, how you can market them. And while doing this, this is all part of being responsible. So this is responsible business. And that is why even as a honey vendor, the jars you're using, the buckets you're using, everything you're using, are they eco-friendly? Are you using eco-friendly jars? You know, are you paying attention or respecting the environment? We have a promotion strategy here. How people will be able to hear you. And will they use Radio Kitara? Will the border riders be there to the statuses? And when you're using, by the way, not because, okay, yes, use English, but like I said, always, I've been saying, let's resonate with our audiences. You speak, but you want to put all your statuses in English. Clearly, connect with the team, with the community you're in. English is also okay. You will. But make sure you have what you call the primary and secondary target. So while you're putting things in English, for those of us from Gulu who might be residing in Bunyoro, at least we'll be able to see. But then also there will be your key or target audience, the primary one, that is actually the communities in that same area that will be able to benefit from that information. Then we're looking at the success metrics. How will you measure results? Here is where there's always a big question. Everybody asking, but I have put my money and my effort and my energies and my trust and belief and prayer and everything in this. How do I tell it has worked for me? That is what people will be asking themselves. How do you tell it has worked for you? How you tell it has worked for you? One, in terms of sales, do you see any improvement in your numbers? Are you getting any new customers?